Everyone's got their waters. They're all good?
Yeah, we're all good.
Yeah, we're good.
Good. Gentlemen, welcome to Construction Life. Dan knows a little bit about what's going on here.
Yeah.
You guys are, I guess we just met over emails. That's all we did, right?
Correct.
Kevin introduced us, all of us. And I'm glad that he did, and he's the one actually responsible for setting this up. You know, we're going to do a show, and Laticrete is the one that's set this up. But I love having tile setters in the studio here talking about that specific trade, and so I can get a sense of all you guys and what you guys do. And we're basically, you got a sense of some of the talking points, things that we're going to discuss, but obviously it's going to be about the industry, about the trade, craft, construction in general. Yeah. I guess there's a little bit on the supplier side with you as well, Mike.
Yep.
Yeah, so we're going to get a nice little gambit here. I like these roundtable shows. So I like beginning the show by introducing everybody and then sharing your information. Danny, you want to begin with you? You're a two-timer here now.
I am, yeah. Hopefully a third-timer soon.
Oh, the third, fourth, fifth. Welcome back anytime. Yeah.
Awesome, thank you. So my name is Dan. I work at Clay Design Construction Cabinetry in London, Ontario. I'm an employee there. We have about 50 people. We have a cabinet shop, division that works outside, like construction side, renovation side, cabinet shop side, and a design build side as well. So
busy,
yes. Yep.
No downturn. Everything's good.
No, we're booked out a year and a half.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good.
So, and we're always looking for good people.
Yeah, in the London area, right?
In the London. Yep.
Yeah. And then I guess, the information. So the phone number is 519-473-1500, but your official title, Lee Carpenter, it's CCTI, right?
Yes, I'm a certified Canadian tile installer from a couple years back. Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
How long? Annual? You got to do that again, or?
No.
Are you guys CCTI?
No.
In Poland? No?
Oh, in Poland I was veterinarian.
You what? Sorry?
I was veterinarian.
Really?
Yeah.
How do you go from there to there?
If you move from different country, you have to go again to school, get a license to do this job.
So
And
can I go to Poland and become a veterinarian? No?
Not yet. Because you have to translate everything, increase your English to like.
But the animals don't speak Polish.
That's okay. Never speak any language, just crying, and still, it's 5 years time. If you come back to country, you can work again. If you pass 5 years, license going to toilet. Sorry about this word.
Okay, that's good to know. Good to know. No, I told you. So claydcc.ca.
Yes.
And then the email to reach you is dan@claydcc.ca, and on IG under Clay Home Spaces. Clay Home Spaces.
Yes.
Cool. Chris, now.
Yes.
Your information.
My name is Chris Pukowski. I came from Poland.
When?
2007, October. No English. No one knows me. I don't know anybody too.
You don't know anything about tiling?
No, I know about construction.
You know about construction?
Because I had 5 years experience, because it is my third country. From Poland, I was moved to States. And from States, after a few years...
What part of the States?
New Jersey.
Okay.
And I was driving to Manhattan to work because a little bit better salary. And was distance like now I have from Mississauga to downtown Toronto, like 20, 30 minutes, And we was thinking with my wife how to make better life for kids. That's why I was moved 2007. October soon will be 17 years when we came to Canada to make better life for family.
And things are good.
Yeah, issue was about send to good school and increase education, not be general labor, right? Like me, when I came, I have to work. My wife was study, kids study, who is bring meal on the table.
Yeah.
Meaning I work from early morning to late, sometimes 9, 10 p.m., 6 days every week.
We'll get into all of that.
Slowly better, because if you longer time, you know more.
What was the very first tile that you laid? What type of tile?
Was mostly marble, because I had always contact with high-end expectation from client, pretty wealthy, and I'm all the time try to keep and to be just for a little bit above average work, not basic work, because for me always challenge, never boring. If you're doing commercial or subdivision houses, you have just different color, and next day similar mirror, opposite side, toilet, vanity, and just keep going, which is I'm not interesting.
Let me share. Chris Tile and Renovations Ltd, 647-289-8425. On IG, I've got you under Chris Tile Renovations Ltd.
Correct.
And then the email to reach you is office@tilecris.ca.
Yes.
That's right. Atila.
How's it going?
I'm going to mess it up all the time.
That's all right. Everybody does.
I'm sorry. Reese Tile. Go ahead, man. Shoot.
My name's Atila Reese, Reese Tile Flooring. We have a small store and installation service out of Barrie. Our website is www.reasetileflooring.com. You can reach us at 289-338-6228. We have a sales side of things where we sell all types of tile, some hardwood, vinyl, laminate, and we have an installation service for all those products as well on the side.
Nice. Yeah. Cool. And did you share the IG? Yeah.
Yeah, at Reese Tile for
Reese Tile.
Instagram.
Yeah, the Instagram, right? And then last, Mike.
Yes. So obviously my name is Mike Vandenbuckel from New Floor Simcoe. I own the store. Took it over from my dad 2 years ago.
How long did he do it for?
My dad's been in the industry for 50 years.
Well, he's seen it change, huh?
He has definitely seen this change. Yeah, he started primarily in carpet. He worked for Anderson Carpet in Burlington.
Wow.
With the old Crosley Care Stand carpet where he had to hand sew the seams, all that fun stuff. Self-taught himself sheet vinyl, ceramic tile. And then I came on board with him full-time in 97. And I have been working alongside him ever since.
How is that father-son tradesperson relationship these days?
We had a great relationship. Yeah? Obviously, we had our disagreements at times, but no, we worked alongside each other very well. It was actually quite scary. If you ask my wife, I could read his mind to the point where she got kind of concerned when we got together because I could finish his comments. But yeah, no, we had a good time. Obviously, we've had our ups and downs in the industry, but yeah, no, we're doing quite well. So.
All right, cool. Well, welcome to the show, guys. Such a pleasure to have everybody in here. I want to begin by talking about how are clients these days?
Good.
Are they savvy? Are they educated? Are they confused? Do they understand all the different steps? You guys are professionals. You have an understanding of what it really takes to create a good product, what mortars to use, what adhesives to use, what products to use, everything like that. Are they on your wavelength, so to speak?
I would say a lot of them are pretty well informed. I mean, you have to kind of steer them the right direction sometimes, but with all the technology and information in front of you nowadays, they can look up something you say on Google and see if you're telling them something the truth or you're trying to diverse them the wrong way.
It's true.
Yeah. A lot of times it's like the waterproofing or what's underneath the tile is not what you're going to see. So it isn't what they want to talk about because it's not the finished product, but they are well informed through Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all the companies, including Laticrete, they all have pages on these media sites and they can find information as quickly as anybody else.
But it becomes like they get a little bit of the information and they don't know all of it. And I guess what I like is it's sometimes referred to pro, referred to installer, referred to the supplier, referred to the specs. That's what I'm trying to get at, right? Where they have just enough information to carry a conversation with you, but they don't have all the ingredients to bake the cake, so to speak. You know what I mean?
What I find in our industry, and maybe you guys can back me up on this one, is that a lot of customers come in, but because they have multi-shopped it, whether it's online or gone to other stores, if they haven't been properly educated, like when they're looking for product, that's where the confusion, I think, comes in. Because a lot of times they come into my store and they're saying, oh, I want such and such a product. But realistically, it's not going to perform.
Yep.
So
that's where your education, that's where your experience comes in.
So they've already been misled by a professional trying to sell them a product with no accurate information.
It's what they think they need.
That's right.
Yeah.
And every project is different. Like generally, every project I have designer. And designer is make this stage, pick up, color, size, everything. My part just explain from construction site step by step. If client is interesting, if he's too busy, he's just coming. Oh, looking great, and that's it, and left just payment. Another is coming every day, sometimes every 1 hour. Now more people working from home, and the worst if we came to client with bad experience with previous contractor. That one is like crucial because always like worry. I can say I have all work after referrals. I just start small advertising. That's why people knows me when I show up. And generally I'm going like, to family and like, brother, sister, brother-in-law, like take care all of them. It's a little bit easier and still. Generally I'm thinking when I came to do for anybody, I have to explain why I'm using this, not other, and show better value.
But do they understand that? Do they understand that you're using a mortar, let's say, that has a far better adhesion to it for a purpose because of the tile that they've selected? Do they understand that kind of information?
And sometimes you have to say just go check website this company and just confirm. I'm telling we're using right product or we're going wrong way. And the same, if you're doing construction for anybody, at the end day you have to give warranty for your work. Like generally for leakage, I'm giving like 10, 15 years for every client. That's why I have to follow instruction any company which you're using, right? Laticrete, like to be sure everything is done well. So far during 17 years, 0 complaint. And always when we finish job, if I didn't receive email from client, I'm asking what I did wrong, what my crew did wrong. If you're not completely happy with everything, not just work with like how we talk, how we take care, how we do work for you. Because now from 21st century, 85% businesses running about referrals. If you have like big peak with referrals, you're growing. Because now this cold feed, like advertising, you have sometimes 100 leads and you close 1 deal.
But as professionals, you guys are going into this space considering the finished material and how that finished material needs to be installed and what products to use for that installation. The clients, for the most part, and the designers are going into that space just looking at the finished material.
Right.
And you guys figure it out. So you guys do the homework. You guys figure out what product to use. And it's nice to see that. I mean, back in my day, 15 years ago, you were limited on what products. Now there's so much more, products out there that will help large format, natural stones, mosaics, things like that. So, but that affects your price point too, as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
So these are all conversations that you would have with clients. It's not just about how beautiful that marble is or how beautiful that porcelain is. It's really about how do we make it last 16 years with no complaints.
Yes.
That's the real. That's where you guys bring to the table, correct?
Well, and the other thing is too, there's 3 of the 4 of us here are owners.
Yeah.
We own our companies. So we are looking out for the best interest. I'm not saying you aren't, Dan.
Oh, I understand.
As an owner, it's a totally
He doesn't care.
No, he does care because obviously he wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
But as owners, our job is to make sure that we are looking after our business so that we don't get smeared in against everybody else. Like we want to make sure that we're selling the right product, the right materials from start to finish, right from the bottom up, right? So
can I add to Mike too?
Sure.
As an owner, like he was saying, you're always looking out for the better of the company, and sometimes not everybody's human. Mistakes happen, no matter how well the product is, no matter how great the installer, mistakes happen, change orders halfway through, and you'll deal with those problems halfway through the job, even if it costs you money to warranty and give a good product to the customer, right? So I think that's really where it lays. Like you can guide them the right way, like we should do it this way because we've done jobs in certain products or these products that they want, but then things go wrong. They always go wrong, right?
Well, that's the job of an installer, a tradesperson, is things go wrong and you guys, how you handle that things go wrong moment.
You got it.
Right? And it's based off experience, no?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Too, and like for me, always I'm choosing any system for work which is less labor involved, and I'm not thinking cost material, because now labor is much higher price than material cost. Yeah. If I have 2 steps, to finish this system, like waterproofing, I'm using. Not like, glue it. Use unmodified, modified mortar. If you have young boy and he just start work with you was explain, he did notes and he did mistake, right? You have to fix.
Absolutely.
How we're looking in front client. If you,
It doesn't look good.
That's why, for me, I'm sending my guys for courses, like to get certificate for this work. I'm working, I'm explain, always I'm going to check where is the most important thing. Like always I do with my guy flat test. If I did flat test, I know no tile, I can, fill up the shower base up to curb, and water is, when I'm coming next day, is the same level.
No, of course.
That's why you have to be good what you're doing. Like you said, if you owner, you put heart or your life to make the best what you can. Sometimes worker had a little bit worse day, fighting with wife or family problem, and it's not concentrate about work. That's why I have every Monday, 10, 15 minutes conversation with my guys. We are the best. No one doing better than we are. And how we can increase. I need save from every single one $20 a day because I have extra money the entire to spend for you guys, right? Because now we have to save every pen because we have big competition. Everything is too expensive. And many times we have to deal with small amount money, which client is willing to pay for this reno. If you're not delivery, we're not gonna get.
Yeah, of course.
How risky is it, guys, to not use the right products? The way I look at it, I remember when tile was reasonably a safe price point, right? But now there's been tile that I've been introduced to where you start talking about almost 3 figures just for square foot price.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you're looking at this going, this is really expensive material.
Yeah.
So this needs to be installed a certain way, which means that I need to do a little bit more homework and find out what is the right product to use on this. And whether it's a vertical surface or if it's a horizontal surface, if it's a wet surface, as an installer professional, you guys all have to factor all that stuff in.
Let's not even bring up porcelain slabs then.
Then we start getting into that. We haven't gone into that world yet, but now the tile installers now are on-site fabricators.
Yeah, no, we've done that before, and sometimes I have to explain to a customer because they see it on Instagram, a porcelain slab shower, and I'll tell them, I was like, each slab can cost you $1,000
easily,
and that's
start
on the lower end of things, right? So if you think about an average shower would cost you $600 in tile versus $3,000 just on your product, then that doesn't include your board, your waterproofing, your shower system, linear drain or curbless. You can go from a $5,000 shower to a $30,000 shower very quickly.
You'd be surprised how many clients still. I had conversations with them where they just assume the finished material is waterproofing.
That's because
probably the most
the
important, like the board and the water.
Sorry, what was that then?
It's if you look at a box of tile, it'll actually say that the tile itself is waterproof, but it doesn't say that the grout is waterproof or the substrate behind it is waterproof. You look at a box of tile, and next time you're in a tile shop,
it says that.
Hilarious.
You'll deal with builders that put dent shield on the wall, and they'll be like, this is good. It says it's water resistant, and you can go ahead. And
What about the perimeter of that board that's not the same size as my wet area and screw holes?
I know.
Yep.
I'm not a huge fan of dent shield anymore, but
One of the things with Laticrete is that because it's a whole system, you start from the waterproofing and you work out. So before you've set any tile into a shower or a backsplash or anything like that, it's already waterproof. And then because you're using Laticrete thin sets and grouts and caulking, whether it be Spectralock 1 or all of these epoxy grouts, it's all one system. So if there ever is a problem, you always have somebody to call, and it isn't 3 or 4 people that you got to call because it's been Frankenstein together.
Yeah.
It's one system.
And that makes your lives a lot easier at that point, right?
Yeah.
Because now you're starting off with the waterproofing system, so you're starting with the hydro, and all of a sudden you're going outward depending on what they're using or what they want to use for finished material.
Right.
But then there's grout. Nowadays grout is becoming more and more bulletproof, right, and protective.
100%.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, especially we have Spectralock 1 is bulletproof.
Yeah.
Like
Which what I love nowadays is that the color it says it is, that's the color says it is.
Yeah.
Like we've done a pool, and with Spectralock 1, we come back 5 years later, and the color hasn't changed.
Nice.
Great thing, you
In
can
a pool
remove
with
stain.
bodies of water sitting there.
And then you're dealing with UV and all, and then it's all
And it's the
factoring in.
exact same. don't get me wrong, you need a train of guys to install that grout.
Yep.
But it's bulletproof.
Because you got to work.
Oh, yeah. Like when we grout Spectralock 1, you'll have one guy with the float. The next guy is doing the initial wash. The third guy is doing a second wash. Then you got a fourth guy just constantly bringing water.
It's a machine. I go back to a system. I go back to on-site fabrication now, what you guys are doing. Gone are the days of just laying 12 by 12 ceramic tile right on the floor. That's nobody does that, right?
Miters, epoxy joints.
Yeah.
Everybody's doing this now. Which looks beautiful.
It looks beautiful, but the people who are doing it are willing to pay for it, because to manufacture something like that on site and give you the miters, epoxy joint all your seams, your niches, curbs, like they don't like quartz on the curbs anymore. They want the tile wrapping on a 45. It's a lot of work.
It looks nice.
And epoxy, you got one shot.
Yep. But I love epoxy.
So do I, but you got one shot.
Attention contractors and tile experts. Meet Laticrete, the brand that has been changing the construction industry for over 65 years. Known for their unbeatable quality and innovation, Laticrete offers complete system solutions for every project, from the substrate up through the grout. Whether you're working on a bathroom, kitchen, or large-scale commercial job, the solutions from Laticrete make your installations even easier. Trusted globally by professionals, their adhesives, grouts, floor heat, and waterproofing solutions are designed to exceed expectations and meet the toughest standards. All serviced with dedicated technical support. Ready to start your next project? Visit Laticrete.com and discover why the pros choose Laticrete, the name that stands for quality in every tile and stone installation. Laticrete, building a better world, one project at a time. I know. It's one shot.
You got one shot at it.
But you guys how are the younger trades handling all this stuff? Because obviously you're getting more mortars that have more adhesives to it. It's harder. Is it thicker, like to work with? Or because they're also making lighter versions of them to make it a little easier on your physical to work with, right?
Yeah.
Because you still need that bond strength, but you still need that workability strength, right?
I've hired guys that are like not saying you guys are old, but on the older side of things, you know, I'm 32. So when I hire someone that's 40 or 45, has been doing this a long time, he's stuck in his own mortars, his way, if that makes sense. But we have a crew of fairly young guys, so it's nice to teach them, and then they get the option to select, this feels better, this glues better, this bonds better. You know what I mean?
The old guys are just stuck in their ways?
Oh, I still have.
I'm looking at you because you're looking at me. I'm an old guy too, okay?
Probably I'm the older one.
How old are you?
I'm 63.
Yeah, I'm going to be 53 soon.
I'm still young.
Yeah. But are we stuck in our ways, or I've always liked new products.
Personality doesn't matter. You have young, middle age, or older. You have guys which listen everyone what is telling him, and you have another person which is refuse everything. Doesn't matter if he's 20 or 40 and 50. This person is not gonna change mind.
No.
This guy knows more than everyone, and he's not even listen you, and it's like came, left, done. And that's why I try to take away these toxic people from my crew.
Of course,
because always I try to have which is respect each other, listen each other, help each other. Not just, independent. If you have now this bigger format, like 5 by 10 feet, you have to send sometimes 4 guys.
Oh, absolutely. There's no way you can install
if you have 3 guys, which is pretty handy, and one is just break this slab, it will be waste your money.
Absolutely.
Because client is willing to replace one piece maybe, and if you broke few, your profit is lower, right? That's why
I don't mean it in the installers itself, but I deal with a builder, for an example, and he's an older gentleman, been doing this for many years, and till this day he's stuck on Drypack pans, and we there's no changing his mind. I've tried introducing Laticrete, all these other options, but he's stuck in Drypack the shower pans.
Has he tried it? Has he installed it?
I'm sure he has.
It took me one time to try it, to install it.
I know.
And then I understood it. But I also know that if you get into the States, a lot of the West Coast, California, mud dogs, it's just all mud.
All dry
That's
pack.
just how it's all designed.
Don't get me wrong.
3701, nothing better. Now you have light.
There is places you need dry pack, absolutely.
If you have condo apartment and clients wants to, for example, relocate this drain from tap to linear drain, it's difficult, and don't wanna to build for them curb. That's why you have to go sometimes 4 inches with platform.
Yeah.
And you have to just do 4 sides slope to this drain.
Yeah.
And later just waterproof, right?
Yeah, there
With
is-
hydroban and just protect it, put subliner, double waterproof to be sure if it's any movement, never will crack nicely.
There is places and times that you need
sometimes we
Drypack.
have to go back, like I was start to even Drypack. I'm not using any Drypack for basement floor like before, like over 20 years ago. Everyone was running with 2 inches, 3 inches Drypack to make flat for tile installation. Now we have self-leveling.
Yeah.
During few hours, you don't need to work hard that much. And like, just primer, clean up, primer, and just 3-4 guys is mixing, going one with roller and job done. And you don't need to spend like
There's definitely
hours,
specs,
hours,
Yeah.
and like your lower part back is like big pain because you have to be all day on the knee and just.
No, of course. There's definitely
Meters.
times and places Drypack is like there's no other option. Like you gotta Drypack this. We'll do a pen, we'll do a bathroom where the tub's inside, the shower's inside, it's bigger than this office, to a linear drain. So like there's no other option. You can't custom make a pan that big, right? You gotta Drypack it. We've done a couple steam rooms for like spas and stuff like that, and you've seen those steam rooms. They're bigger than this entire
They're
office.
huge. Yeah, I know.
They're huge, right?
yeah.
So then they want all of this water to run to one little square drain in the middle of the room.
Yeah.
You got to dry.
But then going back to the steam, you got to be fully waterproofed.
oh yeah,
Oh,
like
yeah.
ceiling
That's
to
the whole
floor.
Like
You got
fully
it. Yeah.
waterproof.
And that's where Laticrete comes in handy. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's. I mean, I want to get into the surface preparation, but there's 2 schools of thought. Like you got traditional floors, but then you also got wet areas, right? When you start
Absolutely.
getting into, so you and that's what happening is a lot of clients nowadays are asking for these. You're starting to see more steam specific showers. You're asking, saunas and things like that. You still got a wet area and a sauna on the floor.
Absolutely.
You still have to put a drain there as well too. So you need to contain all that
You got it.
that heat inside those rooms there. So
Yeah.
surface preparation, like you guys got to really prepare everything properly.
Even
Yeah.
different mortar you have to use for this
Absolutely.
installation, like 254 Platinum or Multimax now this light, and you can install big format and small.
Yeah.
With the same?
Yes.
Yeah.
Only different trowel. If you have big format, you have to use this like ½ inch by ½ inch. If you have
Yeah.
like smaller, like
254
3
dries
eighths
like
by-
steel.
Does
It's
it?
the, it's
Oh,
the
yeah.
best
Yeah.
mortar if you're
Solid.
doing outside or pools or wet areas for floors, not walls. It's bulletproof. Like we did the bowl deck of a kiddie pool inside a recreational center, and it's all done in Laticrete 254. And then they 3-coated hydroban, felt on all the seams.
It's never going to go anywhere.
No.
Like
It's never going to discolor. It's never going to change.
it's never like
Yeah.
it's impossible. Like we went there 3 years later just to check it out, and it looks the same. And that's with round deck mosaics on all your pool coverings and everything. Spectralock 1, Laticrete, cement, hydroban.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then, so what else are you prepping? Like the younger generation, the trades, everybody else looking at this and what they need to do? Because obviously, you guys are given a clean slate. It's just plywood, if we're lucky.
Not
right?
always, but yes, not always.
Yeah.
Some builders like to do their own prep work, so you gotta make
You know
it
what? That's a
happen.
good point you bring up because I disagree with it. I think the pro trade should be dealing with every aspect of.
Of the prep. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with you there. Yeah.
I know that maybe the builders have gotten a deal or this is what their relationship is with a specific supplier or something like that. But if it's not, like, how do you install the base, the substrate, without knowing what the finish is?
You got it.
Yeah.
At that point, most of the times clients haven't decided on what the final finish is going to be. So you need to at least have that missing cog to figure out how to set up the substrate, no?
Absolutely.
That the case?
Absolutely. And we've turned into like in my opinion, you guys can agree or not, but tile guys have turned into a little bit of a framer, a little bit of a border,
know.
a little bit of a
I
plumber,
know.
because we have to glue all these things down to your pipe. So if anything goes wrong, they look directly at the tile guy, not the plumber or not the drywaller, because we boarded it right from the stud. And we connected the plumbing right from the beginning. We cut that plumbing. We sanded that plumbing. Like we did everything from the start.
Yeah.
So like our toolkit, like I mean, I've seen framers show up with a belt and a gun. Well, our toolkit doesn't fit in a Sprinter.
So somebody gonna
It
start.
doesn't make any
Somebody
sense.
wants to start a fight with a specific trade.
No, but you got what I
think
mean,
they have a
yeah.
little bit more than a gun than a
No,
tool
I'm
belt.
saying for an average worker, you know, like if you
Yes,
have your
yes,
main
no,
tools,
totally.
if you're a tile guy, you can't fit that in a Sprinter. Like
That's
it's
why-
so much tools.
How many trowels do you guys have?
I haven't.
I got a dozen.
There's 7 guys. I think we have over like 150 trowels in the back of the shop, just like laying around.
Well, the nice thing about your trowels is they can bend, or and, you can maybe a little bit of rust on them, but you can still use them.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
yeah. You know, a guy uses a trowel till the end when the half by half turns into a quarter by quarter.
But there is a lot of prep, and is the younger generation understanding that this prep is valuable? Like, do you get clients coming in, or even young trades coming into the business, and they're starting to ask you about prep is everything. Every trade, I think, prep is everything.
Everything.
The most important.
Yeah. So if it's not done correctly, and you understand why and what products to use in the prep stage, then how are you going to finish at that point?
Well, it's interesting you say that because I had a younger guy. He's younger than me, obviously. He's 27, I think. And he said he's been doing tile for 10 years. He's actually was in the London area doing tile work, right? So I brought him on to do a job. It wasn't even 20 minutes on the job after explaining how I wanted it done that I'm back on site going, you're doing this all wrong. We got to rip this apart.
Yeah.
We got to fix this. Like,
What did he do wrong?
one, he didn't pay attention to the prep.
Okay.
Okay, so we had to tear out a shower, and it was in a school, and he had to re-slope the floor. Well, he just kind of cleaned it up, looked at a couple spots, put a little bit of mortar, started setting tile. Well, I'm like, no, this is not how you're doing it. This is what I want. You need to rip this all back out, take your time. This is not a race to the finish. Do it properly.
Yeah.
But again, he said he'd been doing it for 10 years, and I'm going,
Doesn't
where
matter.
did you do it for 10 years? Because whoever's teaching you doesn't care. Like, so it all comes down to
Doing it wrong for 10 years is a different thing,
oh,
too.
exactly. Like
Yeah.
I said to him too, I said, I don't know where you were taught, but if you're going to work for me, we are starting back at square one. You think you're worth X amount of dollars. I'm not disagreeing, but you need to start back at square one, and we're going to work our way back through to get you to where you
Yeah,
need to be.
for sure.
Because the installer that I have now that does all my high-end finishes, when he came to me, he worked for another retail center that tore him down to the point where it was like, I got to get you back, your confidence back. I got to get you back on track. And now that he's been with me full-time for 5 years, probably 6, his installs are phenomenal.
Always.
Yeah.
Always.
But he went back to square one, and he started to understand that there's
Yeah.
different ways of tackling this,
That's
right?
right.
And how to do it. You can't be, like you mentioned, stuck in your ways a certain ways, right?
Experience doesn't mean anything. Sometimes I have had conversation, came to me like 45 years old and said, okay, how long you doing this work? Oh, over 20 years. I work for 50 companies. For me, it's red flag. You should work for few, not for 50.
Yeah.
Because
How old was he?
Like 45 years old.
And he worked for 50
For
companies?
50 meaning all around, running with shopping, like 1 week, 1 month, 3 months, independent how big focus bosses put for
not a
his
positive.
work. Like me, no. Stay with one long time because you can have good experience, and if you have like always every company has junior, senior, right? Mostly like me, I'm giving just be independent installer, not earlier than 1 year, 18 months when he's with me together. Because I have to be like 100% confident about every single step what he's doing from scratch to finish.
Yeah.
If you giving like even young ambition, he has goals like experience and was working for bad guy, he's just bring trouble.
You got to
And you
retrain
not
them.
increase your work and
He's got
quality.
40 years of bad experience.
Yeah.
Like
Which
like
is
me
worse.
that like sometimes it's good to have younger, sometimes it's good to stay with a little bit older.
Kind of
Like
goes with
me-
what I said. You can hire a young guy, teach him the ways, but everyone's human.
Yeah.
Mistakes happen.
No,
you know?
you're
for
supposed to
everyone.
learn,
Yeah,
but that's
and
the trade, right?
Yeah, you got it. You guys supposed to teach them, and then
Yeah.
like I always tell my guys, okay, we made this mistake. It's about how we come back from it. The customer is not gonna shoot us in the foot
No.
if we fix
Yeah.
this. Everything's gonna be okay, and then that's how they learn. You can't learn without making
But
mistakes.
am I the only one that looks at substrates and prep and they look just as good as finished tile, or am I like loony?
Oh, if
When
you
When
do
I
that-
see a
Yes.
properly leveled floor,
Yeah.
I see a properly clean floor.
Yeah.
I see waterproofing already starting to go down. I see drain assembly starts. I start seeing all those little steps and everything's clean and tight and proper. I'm like, that looks good. I don't want to cover it up. Like I really don't want to. You have to cover it up.
If it's done properly if you're confident enough to take a picture of your prep work
Yeah.
and post that on social media, you're either going to get brought up or torn down because it looks like shit. So if you do it right, it'll be perfect. Yeah, it'll look good.
Everybody will be just complimentary.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you get the odd person saying, yeah, if you have the time to do that, then do it. But most of the time, you don't have the time to do that. Well, you have the time to do it.
It's hard. Like I tell my guys, take a picture when you're done. Take a picture when you're done. But they don't want to take a picture. They want to go home, if that makes sense, right? So sometimes
while they're texting while they're on social media, like take the picture then.
I like to post things so people can see the progress of the job and all that. And but it's tough to be in 7 spots at once. You know what I mean?
The most important, everyone should be friendly with technology, meaning laser, square.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Because many guys try to push project, finish during one day, which is impossible prepare during one day. That's what always I'm telling. If you coming like me, if I'm start working with new person, always it is like, I don't know, maybe North America trick too. Always I'm going to this guy car and I'm asking, open me trunk. If he's opening me trunk and inside is mess, I know he's messy guy. He's not with me at even
you
one
do that?
second.
I do that all the time.
I
look inside the cab.
Yeah, exactly.
If I see lunch like bags and crumpled up,
this first step with good shop, right? To have good people, right? And the same, if it's all pan, that instant use sponge, no time. If you don't have time, wash your hands. How you will take care of my job?
Yeah.
Even with tools, tools are very, very high end now, but every job requires a tool. We've done, I'll call a guy, say I have a 100 linear foot hallway in a school to do in 12 by 24s. He's like, oh, okay. I was like, you have everything you need? He's like, yeah, I got my laser. And then as soon as he said that, I was like, you don't know how to do this floor because the laser from here to 20 feet grows this much. So you need to know how to use your string lines and your point to points. And so little things like that, right?
Yeah. It depends situation, different techniques.
Check
your work.
But it comes back to training the people that you hire and understand it may take time to get them to that point where you can let them go on their own or work with them so that they do understand why and how to do it properly.
I'm curious about how much is the physical, guys? You've been doing it for how many years now? 17?
In Canada.
In Canada.
Over 20 years.
20 years now, right?
Years, yeah.
And are you physically...
I am okay. I'm running every morning.
Okay, so no, it's good.
Okay.
You're bionic man. I get it. I understand. Polish bionic man. Okay.
I did even check out my body. My family doctor said you after your check, your result is your body 12, 13 years younger than you read. I said, okay, great, doctor, call me every day with this news.
It's the vodka. Keeps it good.
Yeah, but I want to know if that 12, 20 years is applicable on the job
Shot
site,
of vodka
right?
keeps the doctor away.
Everything if he's too fat, overweight, is for this person is everything hard.
Yeah.
That's why if he's good fit, good prospect to work with.
But the young guys coming in, are they always worried about the physical?
It is heavy. It is.
And so do they consider can we get different trowels? Can we get different mortars?
Yeah, absolutely.
Grouts. Can we get just easier products to use?
What I find is my installers are can we get adhesives that are not going to eat our hands that we don't have, so we don't have to wear gloves all the time.
I noticed that as I was getting older.
Your hands all pruny and soft, and it doesn't help the next install.
No, exactly. Even the grouts, a lot of the grouts that we sometimes get spec to use, it just eats them alive. Your fingertips are bleeding from it.
Yep.
Right?
Gloves.
Yeah, that's the number one issue is more so the mortars and the adhesives that we're using. And again, too, as we're going with Laticrete's materials, the guys find it a lot easier on their hands.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And the weight.
Yes.
And when we talked a couple years back, I was commenting about the Multimax Light, and there's another one that Laticrete makes, and it's...
Trilite.
Trilite, yeah.
Trilite, okay.
So it comes out looking like a flour paste, and the bag itself is lighter than a regular bag, like a 50-pound bag.
Half the weight.
Yeah, it's half the weight. So if you're lifting a 5x10 panel, and you got to add a bag of thin set on the back of that, if you can cut that in half to install that, that's a big difference when you're looking at that.
You can help your body quite a bit.
My big one is the respirator situation. Now they have tools where you can attach to your bucket, so when you mix your mix, all the dust is getting sucked in.
Because that was the biggest one, right? So you got a lot of kids coming in not realizing that when you're mixing that first bag and there's that little puff of smoke, dust, it's not smoke.
Yeah.
Like that's airborne.
Even like the IQ saw, like we love that thing. You know, you can cut your jams and all that on it, and it sucks up all the dust. You can cut them right in a condo, so you don't have to go to the balcony or nothing. And avoids water. Like, you know, you don't have to pull out a water saw, create a little tent.
That's
for
what
yourself.
I figure is like with tile installer in the trade and the actual industry, they're so conscious of this.
Yeah.
Because it's longevity, right?
Yeah.
And it saves time and money, right? Like
It
to
does.
set up a wet saw, get the water, clean up, get your thing set. You're burnt 2 hours of your day already. Like, no, that's not even like, that's just lowballing.
Now, I'm just curious about, obviously, sometimes there's going to be an issue. I've had one issue in one tile install one time, and this is a long time ago, and it was a perfect storm situation regarding glass mosaics.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You need a wet saw. You need a wet saw.
So it's just, it didn't work out, but I did appreciate supplier and material. Everyone stepped up, and we figured out what the problem was, and then we just rebuilt it again, and then it was bulletproof, and it was wonderful. It was great, but that does happen. When you guys do get on site, it's just like we don't know exactly what that material is all about. We don't know exactly how it's going to react sometimes. And for the most part, you take your experience in the forefront, install, and it should, in theory, work. But sometimes something happens. When you guys are getting into a situation like that, is it easy for you to reach out to like a Laticrete and all of a sudden customer service? I've got a question. I've got something that I'm inquiring about or something.
Yeah, the reps are great for that.
Yeah,
they are.
Laticrete Corporation is really great. If you need any like technician support, you have immediately. And like that's why I really like. I'm almost 15 years with Laticrete, and for me, nothing better product for work. And this new kind mortar like Trilite. Next day, when you have between grout line a little bit left over, it's easy clean. You don't need to spend like with 254. Even Multimax now, just blade, knife, going between, no scratches, no chipped, easy removal, make a little bit wet. That's why I really love this product.
You're making me want a tile.
It depends too. Like if you're doing a 12 by 24 with a Laticrete product or any kind of mortar, the next day, if it's clean and well done, you can do a scraping and all that. But there's some jobs where, like for a slab, for an example, I'll install it, back butter it, vibrate it, pry it, so then it's full contact. But then I'll tell them, make sure there's not a mortar coming out of that joint, because we're going to let it sit there for 3 days to guarantee adhesion. Because the next day, it's almost like a beach sand still. It's not fully cured. So sometimes we let it sit for 3 days, and we can't scrape after those 3 days.
On large format?
On large format,
like porcelain or a large format tile?
Porcelain and large format tile, especially like 24 by 48s on the ceiling. You
How long does it take to get that center point dry?
I like to wait 24 to 32
I
hours,
totally
something
agree.
like that.
I totally agree.
Like, you finish your install at 5 o'clock and you show up at 9 in the morning the next day. I don't think that's fully cured.
No.
So
that's not even 24 hours.
But exactly, right? But that's how a lot of it happens.
They think,
right?
the sun went down, the sun came back up. It's 24 hours.
You got it.
It's not 24 hours, right?
We just finished 48 by 48 size steam room. We was using Multimax, and always jack support, leave, don't touch, don't go next day.
Come back when? 2-3 days?
Like 48
Especially
hours,
on the ceilings.
Like 48 hours
especially on the
minimum,
ceilings.
because it's set up, make harness, and you're sure it's not fell down, if something. And always for like big format ceiling installation, my guys running with jack support. We put 2, 3, 4 independent, like
you have to,
because you protect for yourself. You can walk and you save. And next day is no work in this area. Just after
you have days. You have to.
Let's get into the world of heated floors, heated everything. Everybody's clients are all asking for heat. No,
if it's in the budget, that's
it's reasonably priced nowadays.
It's still on the expensive
side.
Is
it still on the expensive side?
It's a heat of 50.
But clients, I bet you're always coming in asking for it.
No, well, I'm being in Simcoe, down in Norfolk County. Not a lot of people look for it. If they are doing it, they're doing the radiant hot water heat when they pour a floor.
When they're doing that. Oh. So they're doing hydronics there at that point.
Yeah. It's cheaper that way too.
Per square foot,
Absolutely.
For sure it would be.
Like to heat up a 50 square foot bathroom floor after you buy your pods, your mud, your wire, your thermostat, your labor, it's $3,000.
And electrician guy.
And you got to pay an electrician to connect that thermostat because it has to be connected.
TSA inspection is like.
Those are all new rules right now, right?
It depends on the product you're using. We're doing one right now up in Tottenham, and it's this Thursday, and he's going to come and inspect it. But it's 3,000 feet of heated wire.
It's a big
ESC's
floor.
gotta
It's
get-
a whole bungalow because she didn't run her hydroponics at the time. She changed her mind, and now the
I
whole,
don't know how efficient that would be at that size.
Oh, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Because you got to connect one room to a thermostat. Wires only come to a certain footage. Then you got to connect these transponders that connect to your thermostat.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work, but ESA has to come there, approve of it. Then I got to install my tile. Then the electrician has to get an ESA guy to approve of his installation on his thermostats.
But I find that if you get a client who actually does cough up the dough to do one bathroom, then you've got a client for life because they'll do all the bathrooms at that point.
Yeah.
Once they discover it, and it's the same applies to bidets. Heated bidets. Once you experience that, then you're like, I can't sit on a cold toilet seat anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's, like Europe and Asia is all bidets. I love that for that reason, right? Canada needs to all be bidets, right? I think job site toilets need to be all bidets as well too.
We've done like where you heat the floor, you run the heat into your shower and up the bench, so that when you're sitting in the shower.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah, those are fantastic features.
But the problem also, like a lot of people use benches in showers to put their feet up to shave their legs or to just bathe their undercarriage, right? So like you don't want to go from warm shower floor to cold bench.
Yeah.
It has to be heated. So that's why once you get a client who agrees to do it once.
Dude, I wouldn't know what that's like. I just go and check it. I don't have time to feel if it's hot or not.
There's a difference, trust me. Everyone gets so, but then now you guys, that's part of the substrate. That's part of, I guess, selling it as well to clients, and then they experience it, right?
Yep.
And they, I mean, in my opinion, they are efficient if they're smaller areas.
Yeah.
I would never go that size area with an electric.
It's not typical, but because the build was already 3/4 of the way, floors were done, everything was sealed, she decided that she wanted heated flooring on, and the whole floor is tile, so it's not hardwood. The whole floor is hardwood plank tile, so she wanted to feel a
She
warm.
European?
No. Yeah.
I don't know why.
She has 4 dogs. She didn't want hardwood and all these things. She doesn't want
Makes
scratches
sense.
and damages.
Yeah.
So she went with tile. So it is a good feature once it's all done, but it's an inexpensive feature for sure.
Well, the other thing is people forget is that when you run in floor heat under tile, if you suffer from arthritis or have a bad back or whatever, that warmth alleviates a ton of pain.
Oh, yeah.
So we see a lot of the older generation that have joint ailments. They're the ones that are actually asking for it. It's not necessarily
It
the
makes
younger generation.
sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So might as well install more of them.
I'd love to.
Well, listen, everybody, if you're lucky enough, you're going to get old.
Oh, yeah.
We've done like tile counters, like, like on a bathroom, the tiled counter, and we've heated the counter.
I've done counters.
Yeah. Not the quartz one, like tiled ones where you
No,
build
I've
the
done
box.
slabs.
Yeah.
I've done slabs.
Yeah,
I've
but
done
we heat those counters too.
Yeah.
So then when you're,
Then
touching
you get the
it-
people online complaining about butter melting. And I was like, I'm not cooking the counter. I'm taking the cold off the counter. That's
Yeah.
what I'm doing, right?
Yeah.
Make your tile installation stand out from the competition with Laticrete profiles and trims. Protect the edges of tile and stone, create transitions, and more, all while adding a unique design element. Only Laticrete lets you select from a palette of 40 coordinating colors. Match your profiles, grouts, and sealants across an entire project and give your customers unparalleled design options. Also available in today's most popular finishes, Laticrete offers you more than 4,000 products to choose from, so you'll always find the right profile for nearly any installation challenge. Take your design to the edge with Laticrete profiles and trims. Visit laticrete.com/profiles to see the complete line.
Yeah.
Mostly great thing if you have small kids, like kitchen island, when it's like eating area.
Yeah.
If you have kid, even this meal after 10 minutes is...
They want to read or they want to watch an iPad or they want to sit there, you rest in your elbows.
Yeah.
It was a supplier. I actually walked into a supplier years ago, maybe 10 plus years ago, that I put it was winter, I put my arms on the counter and I was like, what's going on here?
Nice and warm.
And I discovered that it was heated and I was like, smart idea, using that one.
Yeah.
That's
No,
where
it
it
is.
started from. So it's a very smart idea. I think, in my opinion, the shower walls, everything should be all heated.
Not the walls.
Nice and warm.
Might as well build a steam shower.
I have a theory that if you heat the walls, you won't need a door in a shower.
More room to play.
Because the radiant heat coming off the walls will warm up. That's the whole purpose of. If you take a
makes
door
sense.
out, you're going
Yeah.
to get that cold air that's out of the shower because we always warm up the shower, right?
Yeah.
So if you take the door out, that cold air is going to come in. But if you're heating the walls, it should heat up the area walls or atmosphere in that area.
Just all
That's my
room.
theory.
Yeah.
Just room.
Yeah.
But when you're talking about support for odd jobs that you get into, last year we had two different tile jobs on the same, two different tile projects on the same job, same house.
Okay.
And it was a all concrete house, and they wanted to do 12 by 24s on an upper deck outside, and then they wanted to do 24 by 24 by 3/4 inch stone outside on the main floor.
Okay.
So you had to set that up outside so it was waterproof properly. You had to have your concrete laid out in such a way that you'd have your expansion contraction lines in there as well. And you wanted it waterproof because it was outside, but it also has to be freeze thaw stable in that scenario as well. So having a situation like that, we were able to call our rep and have him come out and take a look at it, so we understood what we're up against, and then walk us through the best way to do it.
Would you have to slope it away from the home too?
It was a little bit sloped, yeah.
You'd have to, right?
Yeah.
Because
It was all,
water will be collect and
Yeah.
it's coming to home.
Yeah.
but that was epoxy grout. That was I think it was Hydroban XP that we
Okay.
used. So it was a liquid membrane on that.
Yep.
And then 254 platinum because that's
Lifetime
Bulletproof.
warranty.
bulletproof, exterior graded, and then epoxy grout on top of that. Yeah. And
Is there a limitation on temperature on install? Are you limited?
I think it's like
probably like
your-
10 degrees. Something
Yeah,
like that.
something
Okay.
like that.
Yeah.
It has to be 10 plus
Okay.
degrees. Yeah.
Minimum,
You can
right?
go with
Yeah.
installation.
What about
And it's got to be back buttered. Absolutely.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
the time difference though for it to fully cure? Do you still need to keep a 10-degree difference
No,
throughout that whole
254 dry
process?
so fast.
It would dry fast, yeah? So
254
you don't have to worry too
dries
much about
fast.
that then.
Yeah.
See, that's any chance there's an opportunity to get a rep out or get a supplier out to the site to have a conversation, do it.
Yeah.
And
Do
it helped. I find that it
Class.
helps them too, right? They
Yeah.
get the in-hand experience of explaining their product.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that's a fantastic thing to do.
I do it all the time.
No shame in it either. Like, you're both learning. You're trying to give the customer.
And by the
best
way,
product.
stop by and get some food or some coffee while you're on the way here.
Yeah.
If you can,
Bring
right?
pizza. Don't
Why
be
don't we
shy.
schedule this around noonish? Shit, right? I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Never tried it. No.
To add to like the work that you did, we've been doing a lot of like outdoor concrete pads.
Yep.
Instead of tiling them, we've been doing the leveling
floatings?
system with the
Yep.
pavers. So the concrete is all done, or like just say a rooftop with flat sheet
Yeah.
roof.
Yep.
And it's all pre-sloped. So you just do your leveling system with pavers on top, create that gap underneath, and the tile is perfectly level. But underneath, when the water runs down, it's still sloping away from the home. And what's nice about it is that you have the room underneath to run conduit, to run
Yep.
piping for gas or anything
Speakers.
like that. Speakers.
Clean,
Yeah.
more clean.
Yeah, absolutely. No, absolutely. We
Yeah.
just did one. It's
Yeah.
fantastic.
I've put speakers in showers. I put speakers everyone wants.
Yeah.
You can't talk to a home automation guy because they'll put speakers everywhere, right? That's the thing about it.
I know with I think Shane reps all of you guys. Does he?
Yeah, Sean's my rep, yeah.
Okay. Because there's 3 reps in Southern Ontario, but he's always in London at least once a month, and he'll always shoot me a quick message. What you doing this today? I'm over at ProSol this week. Do you want to touch base? Do you have any questions that I can help you with? Do you have any situations that you need some guidance on? So the representation of Laticrete is always there. They're always just a phone call away or a message away.
So me, I'm calling always to
Yeah.
Richard Glantz, and we're
Yep.
going for lunch.
Yep.
He's bringing
See?
more
Yeah.
brochures, everything, like pleasure and education time,
Yeah.
right? Like I really like Richard because always he's support, and
Yeah.
mostly I have to call to him if I have client which is like with better experience before,
Yep.
and how you can show you strong, you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
You have to bring this technician from Laticrete side,
Yep.
right? And he's gonna explain everything, show. And mostly, if you have any question, I'm called to client. If you have any question,
He'll
ask
answer
this
for you.
gentleman. You will have full answer.
Yeah.
And no headache next day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know
Labor costs.
It's gone out the door.
Well, here's my thought process, and I know clients will disagree with me. I think that they're too low, and I think that they go high because I go back to you guys are now becoming fabricators on site.
Absolutely.
especially with the big panel stuff.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
all the large formats. So
Yeah,
they
you might-
Even
But-
when it comes to a 24 by 48, and you got to start mitering
That's
edges.
still
and
large.
yeah, like
Yeah.
you're fabricating those tiles on site.
Yep.
You know, so it's
Clients have been paying for countertops to be fabricated, designed, templated,
You got it.
scanned, paying that extra money for that, and all that work is being done in tile application. now.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's fabrication on site. now.
Absolutely.
Well, the other thing is, Chris made the comment. You have a guy going to 20, working at 50 different locations. What it comes down to is he's looking at how much money can he make, not necessarily by how good of a job can he do, but where can he make the most amount of money the fastest, with the least amount of effort.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's truly why I don't sub out I don't sub out any of my tile work. All my stuff is done in-house because I can show up and say, look, take your time. We're not here to make, $1,000 a day. Just take your time, make this perfect, because if anyone's losing if you take too long, it's me. It's not you. You know what I mean?
To do it again.
I'd rather not make money on 10 jobs to get that next big job if you do a good job. You know what I mean?
Of course. But how do you guys fight that battle? Because obviously you guys can't increase your labor costs the same way materials are going up.
No, you can't.
Like I said, like there was 3-figure tile material that's coming into the market and being sold, but you can't turn around and start charging 3 times the price to do that install, which you should be because of the cost associated with that material. If you damage it, it's on you now, right? You carrying those slabs and coming in.
That's our trade is always like, square footage. What's your square footage price? It's like even when it comes to slabs.
What is the material and size of material?
You got it. When it comes to slabs, I don't even give a footage price. I'll base the job. I'll be like, okay, this is going to take a week with 4 guys. I'm going to say 7 days, what that costs, add percentage, and then that's your price. Because there's no way to make money on the foot.
No. The labor is the labor cost.
I think streamlining your processes.
Yeah.
If you can somehow, the way you mentioned, Chris,
if you're doing like production, except division commercial, you can price per square feet.
Absolutely.
If you have like me, all the time I have like high-end work with designer, small pieces, 3D, we're making picture, whatever. Like, it's going to take time. Like me, I'm thinking always generally, okay, this main floor washroom with shower is going to take for one guy prepare and like a week. Yeah. If I would be pricing even $30 per square feet,
you don't pay that.
Maybe $5 per hour.
No, I know. Yeah, I know.
That's why you have to explain for client how big effort you have to put from start to finish, and how many hours you have to spend, how specific is this work. It is not like generally work. That's why if someone is asking how much it costs to do this washroom reno, my answer is, okay, go to window and tell me how much it costs this car, how much. I don't know. I know it's white. The same me. Give me full prospect and I will give you realistically price.
Yeah.
I don't need to be over or under. And everyone
would the clients would the clients prefer that you guys give them a one price, as long as they've given you all the scope, they've given you everything, so you know the type of stone, the type of whatever it is, where it's going to be installed, what the substrate, you have all the information, and you turn around and give them one price, or would they want a breakdown of what everything's going to cost?
I think it goes positive and negative. Like, I'm a type of person, I like breaking it all down so then they understand exactly what the item costs and what the labor is for that line. And then the next one. But then it can also come back at you. Well, like, why am I paying $1,500 for the shower prep? Well, because of this. At least you can explain that to them. Whereas if you give them one price, they just see a number and a bunch of words they cannot really understand. Versus line 1, board and waterproof. Line 2, shower prep. Line 3, tiles on the wall. Line 4, because like a shower pan, for an example, is 15 square feet, 20 square feet. Even if you charge $20 a square foot, it's only worth $300.
It doesn't cover the cost.
It doesn't cover the cost to get a guided. And let's not even touch envelope cuts, because that gets into a whole other ball game of time, right? Yeah. Like when someone says, I want a 24 by 48 on an envelope cut to this linear drain, because they want it all lined up. Just the prefabrication of that
beautiful.
And dry laying takes a day.
Yeah. The same next story. It's not just work on the job site cost. We have to go to supplier, be on the line, spend time, bring.
Yep.
And
absolutely.
Change mind from square, small, or maybe linear drain, maybe tile maybe black, and you sometimes you're running with hours work.
Yeah.
And always I'm telling. We was agree for that. Now we have different. I have to increase my price. I need just cover my work, because no one is gonna give me new truck and fill up gas to my truck next day.
Absolutely.
That's why it's like not cost just because you show up or your worker is cost.
Yeah.
We have insurance.
No, the cost doesn't start from the time that you show up.
Insurance, payroll,
like it's not just one. If you have store, you have to pay lease,
pay rent. You got to pay your lease. You got to pay your bills.
And someone is you charge
different company vehicles with gas.
Per square feet. Yes, it is my cost.
Well, I got a good one for you. Okay, so there's a guy locally in our town, and he would price a job for a client that happens to work with my father. Because she owns a gym and her boyfriend has rental property. So he goes, I can do these showers for you, $500 to $1,000 per shower, depending on what I have to do. That's his labor charge. You supply the material, labor. That's all I'm going to charge.
It's like
so he gets in there, and all of a sudden he hands the guy a bill for $1,500 for the first shower.
Okay.
What happened to the $500 to $1,000? Well, I had to do this. He goes. The client goes, no. I prepped it all. I waterproofed it all. I had it all ready for you. You inspected it. He goes, so it should be $500. He goes, no, it's $1,500. I said, see you later. But that's the industry that we're in, because you go to Marketplace or any of those other ones, and instantly there's somebody who can always do it cheaper.
Absolutely.
Right?
But they're not doing half the work.
They're not doing half the work, or if they're
hiding it with the finished
not
material.
reputable.
We just bid on a job like 2,000 square feet, big open space, and all the other trades have to come in after us, obviously. And I gave him a price, and he's like, "Oh, well, someone can do it $2 cheaper." I was like, "Well, this person is not supplying floor tech, floor covering, and protecting the whole floor. Just on product for that is $1.50.
Yeah.
I'm only charging 50 cents to pay someone to go there and protect the floor. I'm not even making money. I'm just trying to warranty and give you a 100% job when I leave. You know what I mean? So it just depends. There's always going to be somebody undertaking.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Always you can find cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. Only the end day you have to think how risky is this work.
But the black market, the underground market, is becoming huge in our industry.
Huge.
Whether it's
Well,
commercial or
is it
residential.
because you could hide so many things that you're supposed to do?
No, well, I don't know if it's necessarily that, or the employees or guys that you are hiring to do the work. Like I priced a job commercially for the local school system.
Okay.
It was, I think it was 7,000 square feet of LVP was to go down, but we had to rip out all the VCT tile, put new subfloor down, new baseboards, the whole 9 yards. He came in at half the price.
Oh, you're talking about somebody else that bid on the job.
Yeah.
I had the same problem.
Yeah.
I had the same
So
problem.
they're lying on the price to get
or
the
they
job.
didn't read the drawings.
No, what he did was he hired cash under the table for $10 an hour, had a crew of 10 guys in there, and in a week's time, they had the whole job done, cleaned up, and out the door. Actually, in less than a week.
Whoa.
And I go,
It
how can we
happens.
compete with that?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
we're legitimate. We have
You're a
WSIB,
business.
we have insurance, we have vehicle costs, we have material costs, and you're now hiring guys under the table, and it's a legitimate company that is doing this. It's like,
But that's you have to educate the clients at this point, right? So
Well,
and that's a
yes.
commercial application,
That's a
right?
commercial
public.
application, that's
I guess a public. But I mean, when it comes to custom
don't
resi,
care.
like the clients are going to be more cautious. If I'm hiring you or I'm hiring you or I'm hiring you, kind of idea. I'm expecting you on site.
Yeah.
I'm expecting you to see.
I find backing on what you're saying, like, I bid on a project 2 months ago, and I came in, my number was like second lowest, and I knew the guy, like we're friends. I knew the guy who also bid on the project. He was the cheapest. We were within a couple $1,000s of each other. No big deal. Then the bid tender came in on the last final due date before you got to send it in, and someone came in $25,000 cheaper, and I was like,
25.
So then I was like, that just covers my cost. I don't understand what's going on here. But they went with him. But obviously, he could be a business that's on the lower side of trying to keep guys busy and not worry about profits, or so it can be both ways. But I've been there. I've done tons of schools. I'll show up to do the tile, and then they'll have the paint company will hire whoever to do it.
They sub it.
And they just come in and they just destroy the whole job.
And in 3 years, when they have a service called Come Back, that business is gone.
Oh, absolutely.
They never charge enough to be a business, to stay in business.
You got it.
To come back in 3 years or 5 years or 10 years and do any service work on it. They're
You got
gone.
it. We have for hardwood, just on a side note, like an average rate for hardwood to install is X, but there's guys out there doing it for half that X. And there's no competition. You can't compete because after you pay someone to do the hardwood, cover the floors, pay your business costs, there's no competition, right? So it's tough. Definitely
it's
tough.
the clients out there. There's a little bit of responsibility on there with like
course.
who you're hiring, what you're looking at. If you're looking at 3 different contractors that are in the same ballpark versus the 4th one that's way cheaper, there's a flag associated with that cheaper price.
Absolutely.
That's how I look at it, right?
With tenders, it's a little different. They always look at the cheap.
No, it's the number one price, right?
Yeah,
But
that's how they do it.
Yeah.
They don't care who it is or how much reputation. Whoever's the lowest price is gonna get that job.
Sorry?
Commercial side is more difficult to get job because it's bigger competition and not big focus about quality work. Like really,
Well, the quality is a little on the less side. Yeah.
If you're going to residential and you open door and it's like and you have in front you one of the best lawyer to Canada. If you just hide them like lying, this person is gonna find out. When you bring material to job site, you don't need to be educated. You're making picture, going to your room and start reading. With commercial side, I don't think so. If someone is take care, it is like right product or not, just job done and that's it. And you have limit time, for example.
Yeah. So speaking of commercial, doing a tile job, the price of tile job at a church. Mm-hmm. Okay. And it was over 5,000 square feet. Well, we priced in fracture membrane controls, control joints, the correct mortar specified on the job.
Yeah.
Well, suddenly somebody comes in, obviously lowballs the job, gets the job. Guess who's back in? They're pulling half the job apart to fix it. Only to find out there's no control membrane, there's no proper mortar underneath.
That's what I meant about that they're doing things that they're not doing because that's where they're saving the cost, right?
That's right.
I will
there's
say,
a failure.
I love resi and I also love commercial, but in a tile sense, maybe not everything else, but commercial, the profits, or I would say the margins are a little lower, but there is a lot of money to be made there because especially when you have a team of hourly guys, you have more footage, more space to go, So, and again, if you show somebody 80%, they think that's excellent work. You can hide the odd joint or here or there because you're looking at such a big, large format job, right? Yeah. Whereas in residential, you got to charge high because it takes twice as long, right?
Is there a marketing advantage for your clients to see products like from Laticrete, where they're on site, they see the bags, they see the products, they see the boards?
I've seen customers read the back of the bag.
They notice it and they pay attention to it, right?
Course.
Or are they also paying attention to some online marketing that they see it and they go, hang on, I've heard good things about this. So it's kind of good. It kind of reflects positively on you guys.
I think today, because I work for a company, that company does social media. And so they're gonna post pictures of their finished jobs, their jobs in process, all these different steps of a job, and the clients that you're gonna get in 3 to 5 years, they're already following you today, and they're already making their decisions who to hire.
100%.
3 to 5 years from now, so they already understand who you are, what you do, your process, your materials that you use. They're fully aware of what's going to happen and what's going on before you even step in the door to give them an estimate.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I've had people message me. They'll be like a friend of a friend of a friend. They know someone that's renovating their bathroom. Hey, my friend in Bolton is renovating her bathroom. I told her to give you a call. And I said, yeah, no problem. I'll go there.
Well, it brings up the question of I have yet to demo a project that I built. But at some point in any tradesperson's career, you're going to come across a point where you're going to destroy something that you built, not based off of warranty failure, but based off of client wanting to change and trend and update. But the reality is that all the projects that I've done, they have not failed because they've delivered the reason why you are using better products. They've delivered on the warranty that you can back. And as much as like Laticrete and everybody else, they start telling there's a warranty. We have warranties. We have customer service. We have reps. We have people to talk to. For the most part, tradespeople are their warranty.
Absolutely.
They back and they stand it because of their knowledge and their experience, and they use it. So in the back of our heads, we're looking at it like, we don't need their warranty because we know it's going to last, right? But it's there just for, I guess, security for the clients at that point, right? Yeah. So how do you guys feel about at some point, you're demolishing things for the purpose of trends instead of warranties? that's going to happen in 10, 15 years because people change their minds, right?
Yeah,
They
we
want to
do-
upgrade.
We do a lot of laminate and vinyl click, and I always try to sell someone, don't put vinyl click or laminate in your basement. You'll even with vapor barrier, it'll tend to smell musky, and you'll get like that humidity. Then 5 years, 8 years down the line, they'll call me and then they'll say, we want to take this out and we want to redo something better. And I said, okay, let's do it.
What's the biggest issue in wet areas? I guess sometimes in showers you might get a little bit of discoloring and caulking or something like that in corners. That's about
Yeah, that's
the extent
about
of
it.
it.
I
But
think
if
maintenance is the
Silicone.
biggest one. If you don't
the
maintain,
silicone, the
Yes,
silicone.
that's why always when we
But nowadays
finish-
it's all color match.
Oh, I love the color match
We're
silicone
using
stuff.
always clear translution for every corner. It doesn't matter tile color. Disappear when you put disappear. If you're using try too much color, always you can see imperfections with when you're running to apply this silicone.
But technically speaking, let's say you do everything proper in the shower. You do the hydro band, you do everything like that. It's all fully waterproof. Then you put the tile, and you're using the Spectralock. You got the best grout and everything like that. Do you still need to put the silicone?
absolutely.
Yes, it's
Why?
protect for cracks
Yeah.
because you have always movement.
Brand new house
So
moves.
it's the horizontal vertical plane shifts, right?
Just the horizontal lines and your pan and curb. You don't need
Just
a
corners inside shower.
Well, Chris will be able to probably agree with this one. We don't build houses like Europe does.
Yeah.
If you're in Europe and they're concrete houses, you don't have
They
to
don't
worry about
move.
it. That's right.
They
Here,
move a lot.
we use greenwood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they move a lot. Like a lot. Like your top could be perfect, but like after a year, if you don't silicone, the grout on the side seams will crack because there is movement, you know. So and like I don't know. Some people will grout and then do silicone. Some people leave the grout out on the seams. We try to do that and then silicone after, because if the grout cracks behind the silicone, it's gonna happen something will happen to the silicone.
And the most important thing, you have to leave always where is corner, tile, wall to wall, minimum 1/16 gap.
Yeah, you
Like
have to.
suspension, because I saw many washrooms, it's like tight, and it start even tile cracking because it's big pressure.
You got it.
You have cold water, like, and warm and cold and warm and 4 seasons, sometimes close window. It's affect this work. That's why it's million things which you have to know. And this, when you're doing long time.
Of course.
And you're going for courses, you're talking with another, companies you have like many teachers to be good, become good. Like
So-
no one is, when he's newborn, he start running, right? You need help from mom. The same with business, with any kind of work.
Yeah. If you're down in the States, even in Canada here too, TTMAC is the governing body that oversees tile installation in Canada. In the States, it's the TCNA.
Yep.
And they have guidelines as to ANSI regulations as to what has to get done. ANSI 117.1, I think it is those corners. So in the States, if you do a tile job and you don't follow those instructions on doing those corners, you can get taken to court. And if you don't follow those instructions,
Wow.
if you don't follow those guidelines, it's on you. You could get sued big time. Like there's a lot of people who are taken to court because they didn't follow the technical guidelines that were required by this governing body. So it's a way to cover your ass.
See, the thing
Following
is, like, and I'm not tooting my own horn, but I mean, as far as I know, I would have gotten a call or an email. I've never had a crack or a separation on a vertical to horizontal plane. I still silicone. I've still done that, right? But
So you'll silicone on top of the grout, you're saying?
Correct.
Yeah, I don't think there's
but
anything wrong with that.
here's my thought process on why I've never, and that goes against NT standards, right?
Been into a commercial bathroom. Say you're standing at the urinal,
Oh,
and
no,
looking at the
I'm
corner,
not. It's like,
but you get it. Though.
yeah.
You're in a commercial building and you look at the corner and they've just grouted the corner and left it and it's cracked.
That's different. Where I was going with it is that I was the one that reframed everything with
And
LSLs
residential could be different.
residential.
Absolutely.
So you're prepping things to a point where it's not going to move, it's not going to shift, so then it will not fail. But you're going that extra step, which costs a lot more money to do
lot of
that.
money, yeah.
At that point, the majority of it, when you go into a regular framed house, it is as it is, right? I'm trying to fight for the fact of the OBC should change. All wet areas should be LSL. That should
I
be
agree.
building code.
Yeah.
That actually should
Yeah.
be in code. Yes.
Yeah.
100% that should be in code now. I don't know why it's not in code yet, but I guess it's
I think
not.
green boards should be removed from code.
Well, I don't think it should be allowed.
Like so,
Yeah.
because
But you're also getting drywall. You're just getting general drywall with just a rolled on applied.
You got it.
Which
but
we
that
know
should be removed.
That should be,
that
I don't even
fails.
understand why rubber's still being applied.
That's what I
The
was
weed
trying to
poles
say
are on the
before.
bottom. I never understood that when I first saw it for the very first time. I'm like, let me get this straight. You want to saturate the dry pack, and then it'll eventually drain through the weed poles?
Yep.
That makes no sense. Why would I want a constant amount of water in there? It's always going to be wet. That's eventually going to fail, no?
Yeah.
And how high does the drain stand up in those things too?
About an inch and a half or so.
I've seen them. I've seen
That
them this
high?
high.
No.
I've done pans. Your average 5x3 pans. That's with the membrane and the drains this high. You got to put like 20 bags of Drypack in there.
Oh, man. I would just walk away going, I'm not a tile setter
Well,
today.
when you're, the builder's got all these houses, you've already done like 20 from the plumber F's up one, and he's already trying to, you make things work. And then that's when I say, I'll cut out this liner. I'll do this one in
What was it? The
Schluter,
plumber
for
had
example.
like a 16-inch piece of pipe, and he said, I don't want to cut it. Just put it in.
He cut it with his, he measured it with his arms.
It goes into training. Like, where do you guys get your training from now on? When something's new, something's happening.
Side courses and learn, self-taught for sure.
I didn't even know this, but Laticrete's got a university.
Yes,
Yeah.
it does. Yeah.
Have you guys done it?
Not yet. No.
I've done
Yeah.
most of it.
Really?
Yeah. I did
How was it?
It was good. So they have close to 150 different courses. I've done about 100 of them so far.
Oh,
And it's just like
how many days in your week?
it's taken me a couple of years, but it takes 15, 20 minutes. So
Okay.
you could do one a night if you wanted to. And it covers all of their products, how to install it, how to use it, what the background is of it. So you're continually getting educated. So it comes back to educating. How do you teach somebody, or how do you educate somebody? Laticrete provides Laticrete University. There's many other different things that you can do online to educate yourself without having to put money out to go to college to learn that. So it's a very good.
But there isn't many resources for tile trade,
No. There's no tile
which is unfortunate.
school,
No, there
really.
isn't.
Like, there's no apprenticeships, I guess you would say.
There's no red seal. There's none of that. And
It's
I
kind of
think-
like painting, though. Like, a lot of our trade, muddy and taping.
I know, but if you go to Europe, you go to UK.
Yep.
No, even in my country, first 3 years, if you was finished, for example, construction school, you was going to work with master.
Yep.
Minimum 3 years
Yeah.
was like training.
I know.
And after 3 years, you was going to exam. If you pass, you become like independent. You can open company and you can run for your own.
Yeah.
And
No, here you can buy-
You have a pretty big packet with money. You came from rich family. You can buy a few trucks, tools, everything.
You can buy one sprinter and a bunch of Milwaukee
And
tools,
like-
and you can open up a business tomorrow.
And an IG account.
Yeah, and get an IG account. You'll be fine.
The same. If you have like rich friends which own many things, like will be giving first for you job, even zero experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why like
I think that should come here. I think it should be like that here.
There should be something, like, just even like how they offer a 1 year or 2 year apprenticeship course for framing and
Yeah.
plumbing. There should be something, just so you can learn the generic part of it. Like I was saying before, we are not just tile setters. We've now turned into a little plumber
Fabricator.
and fabricator.
Every trade as well.
So there should be a little course that even but when you go to high school or university, everyone's like, I want to be a plumber. I want to be HVAC. I want to be this. No one thinks of mudders, painters, tapers.
But do they say that because they don't know where to go to be a tile installer? For the most part, is somewhat friend family connected.
Absolutely.
Someone
Yeah.
got you on the job site as a result. There's no way I've ever heard of anybody knocking on a job site going, "Hey, you need a tile installer?
No.
Can I come in?"
Very true.
That's
No.
how I
Doesn't
got
happen.
into it. I did renovation with my uncle. Once we touched the tile, I was like, this is what I like. And
Yeah.
then I kind of branched off in just the flooring. That's how I learned about tile. Before it was, everything else.
So it's worth it. There's an opening there. Somebody should start it.
Yeah.
Maybe an expansion of the university. No? Are you using SpectraLock family of grouts from Laticrete? Well, if you're not, you're missing out. With SpectraLock, Achieve highly durable, stain-resistant grout joints with superior color uniformly while choosing from a range of 40 standard colors and a unique translucent finished option. SpectraLock 1 Pre-mixed grout is the ready-to-use grout that outperforms traditional pre-mixed grouts on the market, and it exceeds ANSI A118.3 specific test designation 5.6. No mixing, just open the bucket and get to work. With this grout's ability to be cleaned as you go, you can be sure to get the job done much quicker. Alternately, SpectraLock Pro Premium Grout redefines everything you thought you knew about epoxy grouts, low odor, and incredibly easy to work with. Simply mix the 3 pre-measured parts per the instructions and you have a stain-resistant grout that will withstand tough environments and use. Both SpectraLock grouts are UL Green Guard certified, never need sealing, and are backed by a lifetime warranty. Unlock a world of possibilities and find the perfect grout solution for your next installation at laticrete.com/grout.
Well, colleges. They did try it for a while, I think through Mohawk College, tried to set it up, but they couldn't gain enough interest. But I don't think our governments are helping us in that industry. They want to see us, I think they want to see us fail for some reason, because every other trade pretty much has something you have to take courses. Yeah. Like you said, you go to Europe, you go to the UK, it's a 3-tiered system.
Yeah.
If you frig up, you're back at the bottom of the list.
Yeah.
You're done. You start over again. Right here, like,
is it just because it's so unregulated here? That
it's very unregulated.
It's a bucket trial business, right? So anybody could literally get a bucket and trial and just start it.
Backing up what he says, how is it allowed for a municipal government job like a school allowed to have guys walk in just because they have a hard hat and boots on? You should be able to show a certificate, some sort of insurance, something to prove that you're qualified to be here. But you don't. You can just show up.
Have you been asked to show your CCTI?
Ironically, no. But I took it a couple years back. You have to take a 2-hour online portion of it, and then you got to take a 6-hour in-person, hands-on part of it. And when I did the online course, I had 83%, and when I did the show off, I had like 94%. It was really good, right? But
there's skills there.
There is skills there. There's experience there. There's understanding of what's getting done. And it's getting that into kids' hands so they can understand it and get
the value of it
for it and get a love for it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But how do you do that? How do you get it in front of their eyes? Because I think, and I just bring this up because this week I was at a job fair. And sure enough, like George Brown was there, Conestoga was there. There was a few other schools. Tradesmart was there, and there was other colleges there offering other potential career options, not just trades in general and things like that. But the trades weren't the most popular there. Everybody was going to someplace else, right? And I think that I don't think it's presented correctly for the most part.
And I think today's generation, a lot of people it's too much work. I got to do physical. If I can sit on electronics behind a computer, I'm going to do that because I don't have to put effort into it strength-wise, like body-wise. I don't have to wreck my body to do tile work.
I know, but I've argued the point of that you don't have to be the physical tradesperson on site to be a part of the construction industry.
No, but I understand that. But that is the misconception with a lot of younger generation.
That's what I'm saying. It's misrepresented. Yeah. There's so much possible career option in construction that's not bucket and trowel on the site, right? There's some kid right now could be designing certain details and products that you guys need that will make your trade that much more interesting. Someone's there designing it. Someone's like, how did we get to these products to begin with?
Even like as the owner with multiple guys working, yes, a lot of time is spent driving, quoting, and computer and all these things, but I still get my hands dirty. When I have to, right? Like when you got to get in there and then show them how it's done. And I put on the knee pads, I sit there, work 10 hours with them straight, troweling and installing. Because sometimes you got to show that, like, just because this is here, that doesn't mean that I can't go back here to make something happen, 100%.
But when you guys are looking to hire new, What are you looking for? What's the first thing that you look for?
Just someone with a car, answers his cell phone, and is motivated and shows up every morning at 7.
I just laugh because that's the same answer all the time, right?
First question.
I'm only
Are you
teasing.
single or married?
It's a very good question because they'll show up. I
Do
know.
you have line of credit?
Exactly.
Please tell me you have a baby. Okay,
Do you
good.
have
All right.
credit later? I know. Like, because like if you have to
You have
pay every
responsibility.
week,
You know, I do agree with that, but I have 5 good young guys, all from 23 to 28 years old. And as long as they show motivation, they show up every
Yes.
morning and interest in the job,
Yes.
I find that that's more valuable to me than someone who needs to be there because they're behind on, their personal life.
For me, motivation is just beginning, passion to do this
Of
job.
course.
If everyone is doing any kind job with passion, become to success.
Passion comes after a couple of years, or you have to
that's
see
why,
your final product.
Always I'm asking, man, if you're not interested, if you're coming to make hours and pay your bills, you never will be good. Just don't stay with me, because I will find out during first week.
Yeah.
Not for us.
See, here's what I noticed at the job fair. What the kids didn't realize, and I'm not there to speak. I was there. I was invited to capture a guest speaker friend of mine, right? And he was talking. He had like a 20-minute presentation about getting into the trades. So I liked his presentation. What I saw was it was interesting that all the kids were not going mostly to the trade tables, and what they were forgetting is that getting into the trades was an opportunity to speak to an entrepreneur.
Absolutely.
Getting into all those other colleges, and I'm not dismissing all the other career options, they're not all entrepreneurs.
No,
they're going to
not.
be working for people that are entrepreneurs.
Absolutely.
But getting into the trades, you're going to meet different trade people that are either part of a close-knit family regarding a business, or they're starting their own business. So not only are you learning the trades, you're learning how to run a business. They figured out all the bad stuff to do, and they've made it better. Now they're running the business properly, and they're profitable, and they're making money, and they have this skill set. So there's like this twofold value to be associated by inquiring, but nobody's telling them about that.
I think in the last 10 years of doing this, I learned more about how to run a business and how to do those things than I actually upgraded or learned more about different tile products and all these
Once
things.
you get the skills, it's really about upgrading the skills, and that's
it.
relationships, staying in contact with your reps, with your suppliers,
Standing up behind your brand.
networking, Facebook
Yeah.
groups, IG, DMing, and like you're always staying up. Okay, what's the latest and greatest next tile saw and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
of
But at
course.
that point, let's talk business, man.
Yeah, business.
How do we
is the
run this
biggest-
business? How
Yeah.
do I start making this business work for me and make money? And how do I retire? How do I sell my business? How do all these conversations?
Absolutely.
These are all
Absolutely.
valuable conversations. By the way, get down on the floor and start tiling. Like, I need you to finish that job.
Yeah.
But you're learning 2 things that are great,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is such an advantage. That's the message that the government is not selling.
That's right.
It's not what you see, it's what you know. I know some guys that it looks like their business is flourishing to the moon, 10 trucks, trailers, bobcats, 20 guys, but if I sit down with them and have a beer and a drink and they tell me their end all profit, they're not making money. They're working to sustain a career. That's really what it is.
They're buying a job.
They're buying a job. That's the best way to put it. They're buying a job. Because I know multiple guys that do that, right? They will do $3 million in a year, but at the end of the year, they don't have 20 grand to the company.
I know it looks big. That's the difference,
Not
right?
looking how much you. Okay, if you just looking how much you're making and not left over,
Yeah.
You never know.
And
That's why, like me, I have even small job. Always I'm running with notes, labor cost, material cost, my time, and later if my hours will be like $20, I have to talk myself, Chris, go to work for someone, because you're making like McDonald's regular worker labor. Like, it's better to put coffee and say you have great day.
That's the one
get
truth.
benefits.
You're gonna have to
what
tell the
kind
kids
benefit
one
you
day
have?
that at
What kind
some
benefit?
days you're gonna make more money at McDonald's than you're gonna be making in this construction industry.
Yeah.
Some days, not all the days.
That's why, like, even, you guys can probably back into this. Sometimes you're not looking as a business owner and how much revenue and gross or profit, whatever it is. You're looking at the end all yearly goal, One job I'll do that's worth, $5,000. If it costs me $4,900 to do the job, I'm not looking at only $100 profit. I'm looking at the end all year, because we go through mistakes and up and downs through the year, and one job will help the other and kind of float it out, right?
Yeah.
So that's learning the business, like you were saying, knowing how to run a business.
They're not even thinking about that. They're just
Yeah.
they approach a tradesperson and they're like, okay, can you teach me how to tile? Can you teach me everything to do with tile? Ask the question about business, right?
Absolutely.
Challenging tiles. I know that I shared glass has always been a nightmare for me when I was doing it because I love glass and clients love glass, but glass is not the easiest product to use. What kinds of challenging tiles projects or material that you guys have come across?
Travertine and porcelain slabs.
I love travertine though.
Yeah, but that doesn't come in not cut well.
It depends
Unless you
if
want
it's
316
peanut
joints.
brittle travertine,
Yeah.
or if it's proper travertine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
Natural stone to me has always been a difficult challenge. Like
Yeah?
if someone wants a
Yeah.
24 by 24 marble on their floor, but when they come out of the box, one's an eighth, it's so hard to make that perfect. That's why they created those big joints, because you can split the hairs, if that makes sense, right?
So the natural stones.
The natural stones are very difficult, but the porcelain slabs are very difficult. We do with the 6 mil stuff. It's super thin.
What about the bowing?
The bowing of the slabs?
Or bowing of large format, 2x4s or even 4x4s.
Yes.
There's a little bit of bowing, kiln bowing, right? Like that's sometimes I've seen that. I don't know. I don't think it's as bad these days, but I remember when we put face to face to each other. And I'm like, look, C and a D.
I don't know if you guys can agree, but you know how everyone's like, what's an Italian tile? It's an Italian tile. It must be excellent because, you know, it's... But in my perspective, I find like the quality of Italian tiles are great, but the Chinese cut them so much better. Like if you get a tile made in China or Turkey, it's cut to perfection.
But in all honesty, a lot of Italian tile is from China.
Right.
Look at the packaging.
No, of course.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
And we have different grade, like first class.
yes,
Yeah.
Yep.
yes.
That's why if someone is running with commercial grade to residential, don't think if you will have 116 grout line, everyone. Will be
I actually
like-
don't agree with 116 grout lines. Like certain tiles, I agree, but 1/8 should be the minimal because grout doesn't hold inside 116.
Well, if you read, like I know this, and you know that, like
1/8.
there is a minimum. Yeah, there, like
1/8
that
for
that
porcelain.
material has to go down a certain amount.
Do you agree to that? Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
It's gotta be at least an eighth. Yeah.
1/8 is minimum.
Yep.
It should be 1/8.
a rectified tile.
Especially
But
on a
try
rectified
telling
tile.
that to a client or a designer.
You got it. You got it.
And if you come into that situation, what you can do is you can go back to the NTCA, and in their guidelines, they have a spot in there where it explains the width of the grout line according to the offset of the size of the tile and the thickness of the tile.
Yeah.
So if you
100%.
ever get into a situation like that, there's always backing in there for your cause or your case.
defend your
as
case.
Defend your case as to why you're doing it this way.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm only saying that from experience because when we do 116 grout joints, they don't stick. So now when someone asks me, are you going to do 116? No, we do 1/8 grout joints here.
They would stick though, but it has to go lower.
Way
and that's
lower.
the problem is trying to get it down.
Right.
And you can't, even if you're floating and pushing
Packing it in.
It's just difficult to get it all the way down. And then when you don't, then it fails. It cracks and it crumbles and comes out.
You have a
That's
little
the
bit
issue.
more flexibility with a molded tile. You know how where it has the taper?
Yeah, of course. Yes.
Right? So then if you use a 116,
But that's just surface though.
once it's in there, it's a 3/16.
But it's surface,
Yes.
like
Yeah.
what he was
Yeah.
saying.
Down a
But
surface,
if
yeah.
you're using the, I believe it's the Spectralock grout or any of the Laticrete higher end grouts that has the rounded sand versus the irregular sand, you have a lot more flexibility to get it down. So you can go tighter. But like you said, on the rectified, yes, 1/8 minimum
Minimum.
Yeah.
to get it right down because you have no give there. You have no taper. It's square,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, you're not gonna push. That's enough.
I was
Just
taught
1/8.
that when you were installing it, you like it's nice to let all the thin set, all the mortar bleed, but you have to clean that out because you need to fill that in with the grout. It has to go down to the bottom.
Depends on the size too.
Ideally,
Back butter is
yeah.
just not enough. You got to do like half by half on the floor, quarter by quarter.
Oh,
on the
yeah,
tile,
100%.
And then vibrate it.
for sure.
Yeah.
And we still haven't even talked about, even if the floor is level.
Oh, that's number one problem. Number one problem.
And figuring out, okay, where at what point is going to be straight and as close to the substrate as possible, and then where and at what
If it's
point
brand
is
new
gonna,
plywood, big open space, and you put your underlayment
You'd
down,
be
well done.
surprised. I've
Oh,
been on
yeah.
certain job
Yep.
sites where I saw an 1.25 inch difference on brand new frame construction.
Holy.
So you've probably figured this out. So NTCA standards have it an eighth think it is, over 10 feet. So
Yeah.
when you're doing large panels like that on a floor, it's got to be just like glass.
You
dead
got
level.
it. You got it. Like
Yeah.
normally when I do panels on a floor, like we did one last year in Caledon, monster floor. It was radiant heat on top of like a slurry pour, but the floor was so out of whack. They didn't do a good job. So I got a team in there and we dry packed the whole floor perfectly level.
20 square?
It was about 1,000 feet.
Okay. Not
So,
too
and the
bad.
panel, you know, but you got 20 panels on this floor because the panels were 3.5 by 9 foot.
Yeah.
But I got them to make it perfectly level, like the whole way across the floor. So then when we did install the panels, there was no problem. But we still troweled the floor half by half, and we still quarter by quarter the panel. Once it hits on the floor, we vibrate the panel so all the mud adheres to each other, then clip and leveling system. Yeah.
A lot of work, man.
Yeah.
Always bigger size tire.
If you like, I have a couple
flat.
videos on my IG that shows us like
See it.
lifting the
Yeah.
panels, and
Flat floor.
it's a lot of work.
And just
It's a lot of work.
just follow this.
And I know like there's a lot of, I'm a fan of rapid setting stuff, right? I like it. I don't like the exercise associated with it.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot more work for little stuff. I think it's fantastic.
Sorry?
For services is amazing.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
services, even like shower pans, like stuff like that. I don't mind it, but when you're
But you lose 5-10 pounds.
and you also cost double the bag.
Yeah.
So like, you know,
But
like
I want bulletproof. I want a product that's like, I got no worries whatsoever.
if it's an envelope shower pan and the envelope cut is dry laid, all ready to install,
That's different,
Throw
yeah.
a bag of Quickset in there, back butter, in 3 hours you can start your shower. But is it worth the extra 2 hours to get on that wall, or is it better to clean up the site, make it look pretty, start your wall the next day?
Fresh start, fresh day.
You got it, right?
My preference is better use regular mortar for if you have normal project, not with any rapid. Rapid for me is like emergency.
Yeah, emergency. You got
You
it.
have to finish, for example, 3 hours and.
Hey, but we've done
this door will
lobbies.
be
But it's
open.
good to have that training. It's almost like a contractor sprint. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you get ready for it. I think it's good to have it in the toolbox just in case if something comes up. By the way, we can get this done
We've
today.
done many lobbies, Manny. Here in Mississauga, especially.
You got to get it done. Down.
5-6 guys, all Quickset. You got to install that, grout it, same
You don't
day.
even need a bucket of water. Eh? It's just all drenched with sweat.
Legit. No, it's true.
Wringing out.
Yeah,
the
and
sponge.
then
It's all
doing
sweat.
stairs with the the trap beam moldings, all in Quickset. Yeah. So you got to have 3 guys constantly making your marks.
I don't miss those days, man.
Yeah.
Those are hard.
We've done lots of those.
That's
We've
where the
done lots of
That's where
those.
the pros really come out at that point,
No, we've
right?
done, start at 7 and you're not done until 11 p.m. because it's got to be grouted same day because, handicap, all these people, that's their only in and out.
Yeah.
So you got to do it. Yeah.
I skipped over completely niches. Like our clients' thoughts. What are they thinking? They
I
just
think
want-
it's very popular now.
Yeah.
Like everybody wants a niche in their shower.
Yeah.
Or tub.
everything. They just want someplace to
They
put
somewhere to put it.
all the Costco shampoo bottles.
I
over
like
there.
those. I don't know if you like, instead of a niche, I really like those nib walls. Like, like those halfway up nib walls. So it's not a box in the
I
wall.
prefer that too.
It looks more sleek, I
Yeah.
find too. But
Have you done any of the ones with the backlighting in them?
oh yeah, those
Clients
are
are
a pain.
asking for
those
that,
are a
right?
pain, especially when the niche is 5 feet long from point to point, and the whole thing's lit.
The clients want it.
They want
Yeah.
it, right?
I know it's money. It matches the heated
Match the
walls.
heated floor, yeah.
That's what it
Now
matches.
even more client asking to put LED.
A LED in the
Yeah.
niches, and then they don't want quartz or metals either. That's when the miters come in.
You guys ever have to tile on metal, or even really
Yes.
challenge? Yeah.
Fireplaces. Fireplaces.
And those grates inside
That's-
like a walk-in of a
yeah.
building or a dealership, they'll have this grate. You got to tile on top of that metal.
Yeah.
So what are you guys using to hear that?
There's a couple primer products that I would recommend.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was.
Yeah, definitely prime it.
You definitely got to prime it. Sometimes I've even seen people scuff the metal so the primer adheres to the metal even more.
Yeah.
What was I seeing? Yeah, there's
the lead
what?
epoxy, yeah.
Yeah, lead epoxy, right? The 300 adhesive.
Yeah.
It's for steel surfaces, fiberglass, and other challenging substrates.
Yeah. Like fireplaces where you have to
Oh, I can see that all the time. People asking
bring it
for
down
Yeah,
on top. Yeah. Yeah.
and it just it sticks like glue. I've
It's better than
done
glue.
it. Is it really? Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
I know that makes no sense. Sticks like glue. It is glue.
That's right. But that's wherein Laticrete is a great company to work with because every day it's a different day, it's a different project, it's a different situation, and they've got all the solutions covered.
Yeah.
So if you're doing a fireplace one day and you're doing a shower the next day and you're doing a front entrance on a where you got to do rapid set, they have so many different products that we can use. It makes their job so much easier.
When it comes to outside or water areas like pools, steam rooms, I only use Laticrete. I don't trust any other product.
I kind of miss that from the pools. Like I'm not a fan of the liners. I rather see tile.
No. Like obviously the pools I'm talking about would be like rec centers and all these things. Like outdoor pools for someone to get me to tile their outdoor pool here in Canada, it'd probably be like one every 2-3 years.
Yeah, but it's nicer.
It's way nicer, and it's lasts you a lifetime,
Yeah.
right? Versus the liner you got to replace every 5 years.
Yeah.
But it's rare, if that makes sense here. It's rare. But rec centers, they're all tile. If you walk into a YMCA,
Yeah, they have to be tiled.
That's tiled to the ceiling.
And
to
you
the
got
floor.
so many people using that.
You got it.
You got quite a bit of urine count in there.
Oh yeah. But Laticrete is like the number one product for those areas. Like number one.
So it's always a go-to for that.
100%.
How long does it normally take to do a pool?
It depends on the pool. Like if you're talking about those smaller ones where the kids are, that can take to with prep work and install a month and a half. If it's the big pool, normally the big pools we don't even get those. Like that's usually like Acapulco or something like that gets those pools.
What are you using for the grout?
Spectralock 1. Has to be epoxy grout.
So it's going to be like durable as hell for all the chemicals that are being put in the water.
Yeah, you got it.
Right?
And the body of water
salt-
sitting there constantly, right?
Yeah.
Like they don't drain that pool.
No.
That pool
that
stays
water
full.
is just constantly replenished.
You got it.
Yeah.
That's all it is. So it's like you got that water right up against all that tile and the
And where it
product.
gets complicated is the pool decks and inside your change rooms, because they got, one drain in specific areas, and then they think that all the water that goes in and out of here has to drain to that drain. That's where dry packing comes in, and hydroban. A lot of it. Like I'm talking about, you're not buying dry pack by the bag. You buy the sand and the polymer and you mix it on site and you start huffing it by the wheelbarrow. And then I know a guy that has a machine that it makes the dry pack and it pumps the dry pack to where you need to go. So like you're sitting there and there's a machine with a tube coming from outside. They're just throwing the sand and the polymer in the machine and it's making the dry pack and it's pumping the dry pack into the building. So then you can fill up the area and then you have two guys just constantly screeding.
Want to watch something interesting online? Watch how they do the floor for a sumo wrestling event.
Really?
It's all sand, compacted sand.
Get out of here. I
never knew that.
I never knew that.
It's all compacted sand and it's done in a certain way. Makes sense at that point, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out as we're getting close to wrapping this up, but I guess the tile selections. What are clients asking for all these days? Like what are they picking and choosing? Anybody?
I think porcelain's
Nobody's doing
number
anything
one.
interesting mosaic wise. Like nobody are they afraid of mosaics?
On
these days?
backsplashes, they'll go
For a
fun.
mosaic, but not in the showers anymore.
No.
Sometimes not often.
12
Bubble, like
It's all
Porcelain-
large format now. Eh?
porcelain, large format, and a lot of subway tile.
But then you're enveloping in the showers,
Yeah.
right?
So they're removing the mosaics from your shower pans.
Yeah.
Yeah, but clients also need to understand that not all porcelain tiles are ideal for wet areas.
No, you can't put a polished porcelain on your shower pan. Of course
No.
not. No.
You can if there's rocky marriage or something like that,
Yeah,
right?
of course. There's a fat will at the end of the line or something.
No, but like, what other trends? Like,
So-
there's nothing.
For us, it's either subways where they'd be like 3x6 or 4x16.
Yeah, those are the most
different
popular.
patterns, different colors, or say 12x24 or 2 foot by 4 foot.
2 foot by 4 foot's been my number one seller. Like that's what everybody
minimal grout
wants.
lines and ease of installation.
It's not easier.
No, it's not easier, but,
But,
you minimize
yes.
the grout lines.
Yes, yes.
As opposed to doing
Yeah.
subways. Yeah.
If someone wants a 12 by 24 tile, I will always try to sell them, do the 24 by
24 by
48.
48,
You will be more happy with the end result.
No, the question is the direction of the tile. Do you go to the length of the room? Or do you
Depends on the
factor
box of the
in-
shower. So a shower is 3 and a bit and change on the sidewalls, then I'd go horizontal. You got 1 tile, 2 tile, 3 tile, 4 tiles. So you got 4 grout joints on your sidewalls. But if the shower is very tall, very wide, I love putting them on a vertical.
Here's a
Yeah.
question for you. Why can't you envelope the ceiling of a shower to
Why
match
can't
the
you?
floor?
What do you mean,
Well,
why
you can.
can't you? You can.
You can.
Have you guys done that? I have not seen that.
What do you mean by envelope the ceiling?
Well, you're enveloping the floor for the drain purposes, right?
He wants a mirrored finish.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, you could do
Because
that.
my biggest gripe about doing, I'm a fan of putting tile on ceilings and showers, right?
Yeah, I think it's
Water
I think it should
goes
be a
everywhere.
standard. Yeah,
You
because
know,
all that steam goes up and you just see water. But I know
It's not standard.
I know.
It's not standard.
Sometimes you're going to basement that you see and like, just paint.
you can
Yes.
poke your pinky like this.
Complain
Yeah.
about the smell, mold.
So I figure that if you're running the pattern on the walls a certain way and you're trying to make the corners horizontally work, but then as soon as you get to the ceiling, what do? You take the one main wall and continue that
Depending
pattern?
on the layout, like sometimes it works both ways where you can make it look like it matches like a box.
Yeah,
But
I
if
would
it
do
doesn't
that.
work like that, then you match your back wall so it runs up.
Yeah, somehow to match it on the ceiling so then it feels custom at that point.
You got
right?
it. Yeah.
That takes prep. You've figured out your layout
Yeah.
Yeah, from start to finish.
from start to finish. Yeah,
You got it.
Yeah, exactly. And that again takes experience and time.
And the right knowledge on product. Like
Yeah.
you can't use your standard cement on
Nope.
the ceiling.
Nope.
Like it's just doesn't work.
So that's why I figured that you need some skill set. But who's teaching the envelope? Nobody. You got to get on site with somebody who's done it.
That's what I've done. I'll show up on site, I'll work at it with them, and then teach him step by step how to do it, and then give him his first opportunity on an easy one, if that makes sense.
Or from Laticrete. Like me, if I see some new product on the website Laticrete, always I'm going to Richard, just tell me about something.
Yeah.
And doesn't matter how long you're doing this work. Do you have any specific way or something, preference? Because not all the time you have on the back all info.
Right.
That's why it's
Every
better to
person's
talk with
different.
technician.
Some people learn by you teaching them nice, slow. So some guys come in and they might not know anything, but they're quick learners, right?
Yeah.
So you teach
Yeah.
him once, he'll get the concept on what you're trying to. So then you can give him a challenge on the next one on his own, and he'll take
100%.
off.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
How do you guys communicate with clients?
Talk to them every day.
Yeah.
Usually either in person before I start the day or at the end of the day. And usually what I'll do is on the first day, I will get their phone number and I'll message them and say, hi, this is Dan from Clay. And then that way they have my phone number.
Yeah.
And if they have any questions or any concerns or anything that comes up, my number is always there on their phone. They can talk to me anytime they want, within reason, within business hours. But that way, that communication is always open. Yeah.
Yeah, if I'm dealing with a customer and like one of my guys are working, I just say like, here's my card. You call me. Sometimes I call them at the end of the day. I know my guy has left. I'm like, hey, how's it going? Everything went okay. Yeah, your guy's just working away. He's excellent. He's keeping everything clean. Okay, thank you. If there's any concerns, give me a call.
Do they prefer texting versus phone
Some do.
calls? Yeah.
Some do.
Depends on the people.
Yeah, it depends on the people.
But like me, I'm a little bit older school man. Always talk is better
Yep.
because you create better relationship with this client.
Yeah.
Yes.
And this client is refer you to another friend.
Of course.
You have more. This, no emotion. It's like, like no emotion. Like
No emotion and all emojis.
No, we have to create emotion,
Yeah.
build good relationship with every
Yep.
single person which we do work for them. If it's like just like robot, don't think if
That's
this
with
guy
homeowners, right? With GCs, it's a little different. With a GC, he's not on site to talk to your guys, and you're not on site to talk to his guys. So you always stay in communication. Hey, just so you know, this got completed today.
Yep.
Job site's clean. Will be done by Friday. Everything 100%. Okay, thank you for keeping me updated. And then if he calls with a concern,
That's all they want. is
Don't
they-
worry,
They just
I'll
want
take
that
care of it, right?
Doesn't matter
communication.
if it's big or small company, if owner is touch or super is touch, every day should be touch, like or message, picture, updates, because many clients sometimes going away to be
Yep.
farther from
Yeah.
this messy work, and if you're not sending any updates, it's like always like
What are you doing?
what
This
happened?
comes to
Like,
what you were saying
why
about
you
knowing
quiet?
business too, right? Like a lot of all of us want to make money and work hard and make money, but you do so much outside of your scope of work to keep a relationship, to keep that guy happy, so you'll get his next
why
job.
damage
right?
it?
I've gone in with my dump trailer and I told the guys, I don't want to see nothing on this site. I don't care if it's the framers, the plumbers, or this. I want everything in that bin, and I'll take care of it. But because this guy's given you so much work, he's been good to you. Let's keep him happy. You know what I mean?
Of
Yeah.
course.
So.
Are you ready to heat up your next flooring project? Meet Laticrete Strata Heat, the ultimate easy to install and use radiant floor heating system. Designed to deliver faster, more energy efficient heating, Strata Heat is ideal for tile installers and contractors looking for a simple, reliable installation. What sets the StrataHeat system apart? The exclusive patented StrataHeat Thermal Pack. This game-changing additive simply gets mixed with water for use with your adhesive mortar. And then once installed, it maximizes the system's thermal efficiency, cutting down energy use by up to 15% so your floors heat up faster while saving on energy costs. And here's the best part. StrataHeat is competitively priced, making it one of the most cost-effective options in the Canadian market. You don't need to sacrifice quality to stay on budget. Trust a system built for pros. Stay warm, work smarter, and choose StrataHeat from Laticrete for your next project. Visit laticrete.com/floor heating to learn more. I want to get into the wonderful world of health.
Yep.
Safety, silica dust and all kinds of stuff. There's always risks, and I guess a lot of the kids, including myself at the time, no noise, hearing protection.
What?
Hearing, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, fell for it.
Exactly, right? We get older and we all of a sudden don't pay attention, and we definitely want to encourage the young trades to put the headphones on that are not listening to music, just the sound reduction.
At least
headphones.
when you're cutting and doing those things, right? Like if you're just working in the bathroom, the mixer sound, that's not going to, hurt, if that makes sense. But when you're cutting, you're grinding and doing all those things,
goggles.
Yep.
Oh, eye protection is number one. I've
just
seen,
leave them on. That's it.
Yeah. Eye protection is number one. No necklaces. I've seen things yank your chain right away. No necklaces. That's my number one rule. You can't wear.
There was one trade that showed up on one of my job sites, fully cologned out, and I was like, "What's going on? Here, man? Like, you're here for the whole day to work. Like, I don't understand. You're not." Like, why are you fully cologned out?
Yeah.
I was like, somebody just bring me some sawdust. I need to tone down this cologne, right? I thought it was weird. But no, I don't understand necklaces. That makes no sense.
Because when you're grinding and you're like, it's hanging.
No, but why would he be wearing it? That's what I'm saying.
I don't know.
Same thing with, you'll never see most tradespeople with no wedding rings.
I always have mine.
That's not because of infidelity. No. That's just because of safety. You don't want to get it caught on
You got it.
Right?
You got
Simple as that. So for him to have a Flavor Flav chain ring or something like that.
You got it. But that's safety, right? But mask, eye protection, ear protection is number one.
Yeah.
Number one. Even knee pads. There's some guys out there that'll rock, your $20 Home Depot knee pads. And I'll tell them, your knees by the end of today are going to be destroyed.
And also educate everybody on the expiration of all this stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
knee pads don't last forever. Goggles
expiration
get
doesn't
scratched.
even last anymore. As soon as it gets too old, they toss and they go get another one. That's the thing. And I just see the bill at the end of the day.
No, they can't just be getting rid of it because it's dirty. It's got to be legitimately gone, right? I've said the same thing with footwear.
Yeah.
Like safety boots don't last forever either, right?
No. And you know what? In the towel industry, it's if you're in a resi home that the inspection's not happening, a lot of them don't use boots. They like working in shoes.
I like
running.
I know.
Neighbor shows up.
I know. But I'm just saying, I think in our industry, we see that the most.
You want a nice pair of running shoes. I'm not saying get your Jordans on and start tiling or anything like that, but you want more comfortable footwear, right? And then put on those safety boots if your MLL shows up.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Not saying you should.
Throw the hard hat on.
No. Well, that hard hat, no, you shouldn't even. It's hard to work with a hard hat in tile.
Well, we had a fight with the Ministry of Labor on a job site where he forced us to have it on. We were bending over in doorways.
A hard hat,
fitting and putting stuff in where you had to be bending over. And he goes, oh, tie a strap. Put a strap on your hat and tie it around your chin. He goes, you're wearing it. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
We did the Peterborough Casino, all the tile work in there, and we're doing the bathrooms inside, finished ceilings, paint, everything's finished. We're just tiling walls. We got in huge trouble from the MOL. Put your hard hats on. And we're on a ladder trying to put tiles on 10 feet high. Put your hard hat on. Put your boots on. Everything. And vest. You had to have a vest on. You like
a safety vest.
Okay, safety vest.
That's a
commercial
public area, right?
Yeah.
No. But it was a new build construction.
Oh.
This is the brand new casino in Peterborough. We did all the tile work there. Yeah. Shorts.
I've seen bricklayers show up on sites in their pajamas.
Yeah.
I've seen bricklayers show up and they're wearing sweatpants, no shirt, just a vest over the body.
No, it was a white beater and it was pajamas and it was sandals. And I looked at him and was like, that kind of day today.
Yeah. But yeah, no, we've been there.
No, but safety is important. And also, I guess a lot of people talk about tool safety, but it's also tool maintenance too. Like if you don't take care of your tools, then they're
One
gonna
day.
fail at some point,
Of
which
course.
could cause
One day.
an issue. Like
course.
you don't want blades breaking, you don't want
Yeah.
things screaming and shooting off or whatever. Right? You guys are using grinders all the time, probably Makitas, right? Variable speed. That's right, because I know the trade and I know tools. Okay,
I don't know.
care
Are
if
you a
DeWalt
Makita
or
guy?
Milwaukee.
Actually, I'm not, but I
what do
do
you-
have a variable speed grinder though.
You have a variable speed, no?
Yes,
I
yes.
have multiple, but they're all Milwaukee.
You have a variable Milwaukee grinder.
Like
Yes,
a
sir.
Bosch,
Yeah.
DeWalt,
I feel
and
for you.
Makita.
It's Makita. Come on. I haven't met a tile setter who doesn't have Makita. Okay.
We have Makita grinders, the corded ones that they use on a regular, but like when you're doing your buffing for your miters and all that,
Makita.
Milwaukee variable
Mak-
speed. Yeah,
If you have speed, doesn't matter which company, right? You have
Yeah, no, that's the
Wait. So Chris, what are you then? You're Makita.
Yeah, Makita.
That's right. I know you're Makita because you're Polish, all right? It's Makita. It'll never be Milwaukee. It'll
they don't
never
like
be
the red, I
DeWalt.
see. Eh? They don't like the red.
No, it's not that. It's not
Milwaukee.
that. Tile trade is Makita. Like 95% is Makita. Tile trade.
Definitely has changed. Definitely has changed. If you watch IG and
Really?
TikTok right now, everybody's
Oh, that's
holding a
because
Milwaukee
Milwaukee's
grinder.
just throwing all these tools at these guys
No.
to use them.
I have Makita
But they put
grinders.
it down and then they use the Makita to finish the job. That's
I'll
what
be
they
honest
do.
with you. Out of all the grinders, if they're corded, the Bosch has the best RPMs for cutting tile.
Well, how's the variable on that?
There is no variable speed on that.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
I don't understand why they haven't designed that yet.
Yeah.
And how long did it take Milwaukee to get a miter saw and a table saw?
No, table saw is not Makita.
No, Milwaukee.
Milwaukee doesn't have a table saw.
Yes, they
Yeah,
do.
yeah,
They have a battery one.
cordless one.
They have a-
Oh, sorry. Okay, sorry. I was thinking.
I think it
something
just showed up. I think it comes with an A-track.
I still like our DeWalt, the DeWalt water table saw. That's still like one of my favorite saws.
No. In all fairness, that is a good saw.
It's like
That
I've
is a
had
good
that
saw.
saw, and you can keep one blade on that thing
It's
forever.
it is a good saw.
I
Last-
still have our old Target saw from.
Oh, now he's going old
bricklayer.
school. Target.
Nice.
Target with the little toggle switch to turn on.
Yes.
Whether you're turning the saw on or you're like bomb. This is what it's gonna be.
I think we switched that switch out 3
What tile
times
saw
now.
do you have, Chris?
DeWalt.
Yeah, that's
It's
the
a-
number.
it's a nice one.
Awesome.
That I agree. It's a
Even
nice
like
one.
if you're dealing with a bridge saw, I really like the Batipav bridge saw. That's fantastic.
Hand cutter, Sigma.
No, Sigma all the way. Yeah, Sigma cutters is the best.
not
Your monolith.
Yeah,
I
I like the monolith. Don't get me wrong. Like, but for affordability and
Like
nice
F1.
cuts, Sigma
Yeah.
is
No one wants
awesome.
to-
Like for
but
my
is it
slab
not?
cutters.
Is it not the
Because
blade?
always
Is it
with
not the
Sigma,
blade?
that's
Yeah.
why.
But
Yeah.
the way, like, I don't like the front score. I like scoring that way.
Yeah, see, that's the difference.
You know, so like
Yeah.
with the monolith, you got to score up towards the tile, but I don't understand because the tile is being held against the bar on the back. So
Man, this is like iPhone, Android, eh? Why don't they just
Yeah.
make it universal? It just goes scores one way. And
but
that's
Sigma
it.
now
Yeah.
came out with one that scores the same way as the
Yeah,
monolith.
is that the one with the laser on it?
Yeah,
There's a laser on it.
on the Sigma.
Yeah.
I don't have that one
Yes.
though, but yeah,
New
yeah.
model.
They put a laser on it.
Yeah.
Like you have in a chop saw.
But for slabs, like there's
But
so
how
many
thick is that
different-
laser line?
Oh, it's the 16th. It's like right on where the thing is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it being powered by one of the flat batteries?
There's
or-
there's like a little battery. You just click the button, laser turns on.
If
Yeah.
you have really good Bosch laser, even 20 feet is the same
Yeah.
wide.
Oh, you're a Bosch laser guy.
Yeah, I'm a Bosch laser too.
No, nothing better.
I think
You have to
anything
pay
over 20 feet
minimum
long, you can't be using a
close
laser.
to 1,500 for.
I agree with you
I've
on
done
that.
so many schools
But I
and
think
long hallways.
it has to be green laser, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It has to be green light.
Leave
Yeah.
the red for the framers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with stand up, you can raise.
Oh, you gotta have a pole
like
for
you
it,
can run anyway, like
Yeah.
vertical.
Or just put it on a tripod or something like that.
Yeah.
but-
Not like DeWalt, screw. You're looking for
I know, and you're looking
Then
for
you
it.
can like draw very any stats and like lower, higher, oh maybe one hair more.
I like the magnetic, especially for commercial. You just throw that thing on a.
Because there's metal everywhere.
metal
That's
everywhere,
why.
right? So-
Residential like mostly wood.
You need a
Yeah.
tripod for residential for sure. Like absolutely.
Anything you guys want to wrap up and share and words of wisdom for the kids out there that want to get into this game or the immigrants that are going to come to this country and want to start this game and
Take care of your knees.
100% lower back, your knees.
Buy the best knee pads, aka Fentos.
And after
Pronies.
work exercise.
Pronies.
The blue ones?
No,
Stay active.
Oh, the one that holds.
Exercise. If you
We
try
use
to set
that,
Yeah.
but
after
in a
work,
residential job, when you're it's so hard to use, right? But on a commercial job, and you're constantly going, like we have those rack attacks. I don't know if you ever seen those before.
Yeah.
Those like on wheels.
Yeah.
Those things are amazing.
Are they good?
If you have a big area, the best thing in the market.
How are they on your lower back? Are they okay?
They're amazing. You're
Yeah?
sitting. You're always sitting
there, right?
Yeah.
But you're cradling your shins, right?
No. Your knees are out like this, and you're sitting on like a bicycle chair, and you only go on your knee really to spread. But then when you're installing, you always have leverage, right?
How is that little grout carousel kind of the grout sponge thing? You know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about.
What's it called? I don't know. What it's called.
The grout sponge.
Yeah, no, he was talking
Grout
about
scraper sponge thing.
Yeah,
I
a few
don't.
years back, it come out. It would look like a
It looked useless.
silicone.
Oh, the little cup. That little cup, and
Yeah.
you like move it. That
Yeah.
thing's not. No. You need a float.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, that's what I thought, right?
Yeah.
Because I was like,
A Marshallton float with the blue handle. That's the best float.
Troxel. Orange one.
No, Marshall.
whatever makes the job look amazing, whatever works for
That's
you,
right. Yeah.
Simple as that.
As long as it looks amazing.
He's gonna
at the
hate
end.
the back of my store. It's like Marshallton Sigma, everything that he doesn't use.
So he's not gonna buy anything.
Do you have the Marshalltown self-leveling clips then?
No, we use we really like the QEPs because of affordability. Like we use clips even on 10,000 square feet of open go, right? So when you're like, I can't even afford perfect level master on that. Like the clips are outrageously expensive, but they're amazing. Like I'm not gonna knock them.
Yeah, I only use Perfect Level Master. That's all
same
I'll
here.
use.
But you're gonna spend an arm and a leg to try to put clips on a big open space.
You just gotta talk to Martin and tell him to smarten up and give him a better price. He
Yeah.
does.
Yeah. Okay.
You a clip guy?
Always.
Always, right?
Everything.
I've met old school guys that are not clip guys.
Well, here, okay, so talking old school versus clips, okay? I love getting into that conversation with guys because it's like at the end of the day,
I'll go clips
I don't
any day.
care how good you are. You can lay a perfectly level floor, but if you want just that one extra thing, use a clip. And I had one guy, I'm not using it. Finally, I walked into the job and I found a whole bunch of flaws, right? So I gave him a bag and said, "You're going to use these now." He come back, he goes, "I would have never thought it would turn out as good as it did." I'm like, I don't care how good.
Because even eliminate, like especially when you're back buttering a towel and it's full contact, if there's a slight cup on that towel where the joints won't meet, that clip cranks it and fixes it, and the mud dries it that way.
100%.
The issue is the young trades relying solely on
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, it's you can't use
and
it
not
as
understanding
yeah.
full coverage
You got it.
of the mortar. That's the
that
issue.
comes back to
You have
prep.
to learn.
Yeah, that comes back to doing your prep properly, so
Yes.
it's level and plumb and
Yes.
square.
The clip is not
Yeah.
supposed to raise the tile half an inch up to the next
That's
tile.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
They just have training wheels on their cars when they're
You
going to
got
work,
it.
right?
You
And
got
that's
it.
not what you want. You want them to. They should learn without the clips first, just to get a feel for it,
got
and then experience the clips because they need to understand the mortar.
Yeah.
The purpose behind the mortar. Like this whole 90, like we've all seen the horror stories. You know, you tap in and it's all the
yeah.
voids and you take it off and it's like, oh, look, it's an HGTV show. You know what I mean? It's just been spot bonded, right?
Yeah.
There's voids and that's what they're doing. And they don't understand that connection where you need to have full coverage.
We've done a commercial job where the inspector will come with a light chain and he'll just drag the chain around the floor.
Oh,
if
I
he hears
know that
anything,
one.
he'll just
I
put an
know
X
that one.
with spray paint. Take that out.
That's a good one
Yeah.
because you'll hear it right away.
Those like it's a you're doing a 30,000 square foot public school with 12 by 12 tile, 316 joints, but he understands that it's not as high end, but he cares about coverage.
Because he knows that that's going to crack
Yeah.
if something drops.
He
on
won't
it.
complain about a 16th lip or a cut was made just too short. He won't ever complain about that, but he'll drag that chain and he'll say that's loose, pop it out.
Anything else you want to share before? Sorry, we interrupt because everybody was talking at the same time. Chris, you were mentioning something.
No, it's good point. Like because cover minimum 80%. It is minimum.
Mm-hmm.
If you go lower, it will crack. If you have commercial, I'm not doing any commercial. That's why it's like like school. If you have school kids coming and you have some repair day by day. And if it's anything happened, insurance is involved. You will have big trouble because you're giving warranty for this work.
Yeah.
So I have something to ask, or to add to it. We're talking about how to get people into the trades, kids into the trades. So down in the States, there's a girl, her name is Megan Rink, and she is part of the NTCA, which is the National Tile Contractors Association. And And what she did was she created a puzzle for kids from kindergarten to grade 2 and grade 3 to get them into the idea of learning the trades. So basically ages 4 to 8, it goes over a few different shapes and mosaics that kids can make out of hexagon puzzle pieces. It's to help contractors and design centers connect with the community. When they have clients with kids, they can offer a puzzle to bring the children into the loop. So she's part of Women in Tile or Women in Construction, and she's developed this and she's taken it to the NTCA.
I like that. That's very
and
smart.
the NTCA has these packages put together that they sell, and the proceeds go back to the women in trade, and it helps everybody all around. Yeah, but it gets them a chance to get into the kids who they're playing Lego when they're 5 and 6. Put some tile in their hands and get them to let them feel it and see it and touch it. Right.
I recently saw an oversized, probably larger than this room, sand pit with toy excavator, bulldozer, cement trucks.
Yeah.
And the kids were playing, and I was like, the kids, I want to get in there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that. Put that in a nursery. Put that in a daycare.
I was even thinking, in high school, like when you're in high school, you have like the officer come and the firefighter come to like talk
career
about
day,
your
career
day.
Yeah.
Let's put tile guys in there. Let's put framers in there, so people see that there's not just your generic jobs out there, right? That's a big deal, I find.
Well, I had to fill in a questionnaire with the local college, and it was partnered up with I believe it was the Grand Area School Board, on what would you contribute to the career day or whatever they do with the school. They have they're trying to set up a program to get people interested. So I filled out that questionnaire trying to give some ideas on how to get them in. But obviously there is a start there. They are trying, like the local schools are trying to get kids interested outside of technology. Because technology is
next year, right? Next year it starts. I think next year, September of next year, you don't need to do grade 11 and grade 12. You can do grade 9, 10, go into a trade, and only do math and English to get your diploma. So at least people get their foot in the door in the trades, right?
But the problem is that it's a great avenue, but the problem is that then they just go to your own, find your own.
No, I'm sure it's going to be a little bit controlled. Like you got to find someone, they got to regulate it. They got to, sign off hours. They still got to go to the school to do math and English.
You're in Canada, right?
I know. I'm just saying. I'm sure there's going to be something that's going to help. At least if that was an option when I was in school, I would have taken it.
I definitely still think that there should be some sort of trade, tile school, apprenticeship, Red Seal, something.
Like
something.
Typical like construction school. And every kind of profession, because even painting is like, for some of them it's like, easy. It's not really easy. You have to know, even if new drywall, you have to use different primer.
Yeah.
If you have 4 patches different, it's like basic.
There is like a program.
If you don't have any education, it's like
there's courses like you've done the TT Mac courses.
Yep.
There's those kinds of courses where you can get certified, right? And
I had a guy who worked for me who went to Georgian College for 1 year, and it's called like construction technologies, like the first things you need to know. But they just teach you, 16-inch on center and like before the time.
That's the problem I had. There was other brands early in my construction career, like first or second year. I was invited to these. We're going to be doing a PK, a little product knowledge kind of seminar thing like that. And I walk in, and they pull out 12 by 12 ceramic tile, and I was like, guys. We're going to start with basics. I go, I'm beyond that. Can we please start with the difficult things? I want to start bringing in some large format, bring in this, bring in that. I want to start talking about this stuff.
Yeah.
So, there's got to be opportunities for advance where you want to hone your skills. So now you can start getting the real professionals out there to better themselves and then offer this education to their crews. Your workforce.
It goes for anything, not just construction. This goes for all the things in university and college.
Yeah.
You can learn up to a point, but you got to want it, and experience comes in after. Like, you got to want it and do it, I mean, you can go to school for 4 years of business and still work at McDonald's, so you got to want it and pursue that passion, just like you were saying before.
School is just base.
School's the base. Gets you the...
it's just the base. Boys, you got to go a little lower.
Why?
Boys.
You're not gonna change my accent. It's too late. Like, my son, no accent, because he came small boy. Everyone is thinking he was born in Canada. You know why?
How old is he now?
29.
He's not a little boy anymore.
The daddy is.
Still. For me, will be boy. Small.
Does he work with you?
No, he was finished economics, University of Ottawa. He's working for payments Canada. Different subject. No way. He said, no.
Smart man.
No, that's why. When we came to Canada, he was like maybe 11, 12 years old, summertime. I was wake up him 6 a.m. He was going with me to work. I have to show for him how will be difficult life if he's not going to finish good school.
That's good.
Because like me, I'm an immigrant. I have to get any job to make money
Of
and
course.
bring food on the table.
Of course.
Right? And after, when he was 21, he sent to us letter and was apologized for anything which he did, like, for us, something bad.
Yeah.
Because now he understands my point, mom point, why mom was wake up every Saturday, take him to Polish school to teach a little bit English, history, geography. Like, for everything, you have to evaluate yourself, become smarter than was beginning.
Gentlemen, I want to thank you. I want to do the 12 questions with you guys. But then again, Dan Wall, lead carpenter, CCTI 2022-15. You can reach him at 519-473-1500. Dan at claydcc.ca. And then the website is www.claydcc.ca. And on IG, Clay Home Spaces. Then I got Chris Pukowski.
Pukowski.
We're going to have a Tisky? Chris Tyler Renovate. My framer was poorly. I'm still trying to get him on the show. Zigmund. Yeah. Chris Tyler Renovations Ltd. 647-289-8425. Office at tilechris.ca. And his Instagram is under Chris Tile Renovations Ltd. Atila Reese Tile Flooring, 289-338-6228 on IG under Reese Tile. And then also his email is reesetileflooring@outlook.com, reesetileflooring.com. And last, Mike, what is it, Vanden
Buchel. It's a mouthful. Good Dutch guy.
Oh, okay. It's actually really nice. Almost like a villain's name, eh? Vanden Buchel.
It could be.
Could be a villain's name. Good villain.
Hopefully.
New Floor Simco, IG New Floor Simco at New Floor Simco, and 519-426-2619 extension 1004, and also the cell is 519-909-0568. Mike.newfloors@gmail.com, and also www.newfloorsimco.ca. We'll go one by one, guys. What's your favorite construction word or phrase? Start with Dan. We'll go around this way.
Is this censored?
No, is it?
Bang nuts.
Bang nuts? That didn't need censorship.
just covering myself. That's all.
Punch list. That means you're getting close to the end.
Chris? Favorite construction word or phrase? What's the word that you use?
It's not my favorite because it's bad word. All the time, when you go into construction, you can hear for F start.
Oh, you mean cool?
Oh yeah, you can translate for
much.
It's not my favor, and all the time when you came, you heard
This is where you learn all the bad words in other languages than in English.
Mike?
I don't have a favorite word.
Or phrase, nothing?
I basically tell the guys, take one day at a time.
There you go.
Take one task at a time. Don't look at the big picture and get overwhelmed. Just focus on the small, and the big will take care of itself.
Step by step.
Least favorite tool?
Any
dual tool.
Any tool? The people in the city hall in London who decided that it would be a good idea to tear up more than half of the main streets all at the same time.
They did that?
Yes.
Somebody got to meet the budget.
So in the last 3 years, and for the next 3 years ahead of me, all of the north-south streets, main streets, 4 lanes, arteries that go from the south to the north, are all cut up doing road work. Just
can't get around it.
Can't get around it. Yeah, it's everything. Just pain in the ass.
Chris?
Was the question, what's your worst tool?
Least favorite tool.
Least favorite tool. What was your least favorite tool?
The people in City Hall.
It doesn't have to be a tool.
Like, confirm what.
It could be metaphorically, right? So
Like to be smart all the time, like with everything.
I like that.
What's my least favorite tool? Pinterest.
Oh, I hate that. Second least favorite house.
Yes.
Mike?
Oh, my least favorite tool? I'm going to say social media and interior designers that give ideas that are not practical.
Yes. That's where my Pinterest came in.
Yeah, I know.
Because that's what people see.
What do you guys miss from your childhood?
Snowboarding. When I could actually, where I grew up in Ontario here, I had made myself a snowboard park because I lived on the edge of town, and I miss that. Yeah.
You made the park?
Yeah.
Concrete and everything? Or?
No, it was all natural wood
Hills and
stuff.
Okay,
So I
wow.
just made it all up. So you get 4 inches of snow on it, and it becomes a full snowboard park. Yeah.
Still there?
I don't know. I haven't been up there in a few years.
That's
Probably.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
I was growing in Poland. We was always missing for close to access to lake or swimming pool. Now it's different industry. Every city has small swimming pool.
Yeah.
Because everyone wants to swim. We have river, and everyone was worried because maybe it will be one way.
Oh.
That's why I always was missing for like safe swimming pool or any aqua water to swim, because that one is like release your stress.
Yeah.
And you have like big enjoyment with nature. That one was always we was missing.
From my childhood, just not having to deal with responsibilities. Fantastic. Just stay up all night. That's it.
Mike?
I think it was obviously growing up in the flooring industry, hanging out with my dad, going to do the Toronto runs, picking up material, dropping off on the jobs with him, even going in on Saturdays to projects and hanging out with him, and Tim Hortons, chocolate milk, whatever, like just spending time with my father.
Nice. What construction sound do you guys love?
The sound of a clicker that snaps a tile real nice. So that little screech, you probably understand that when you're doing panel porcelain.
Yeah.
It's that scratch across there, and then it just goes snap.
Yeah.
So that can be either your greatest sound or your worst sound because it's something happened wrong.
Yeah, that one is the most scary sound.
Yes.
Like,
yeah.
you never
Click.
know. Sometimes, and it goes a little bit different way when it was planning.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, the same.
Same sound?
Bigger format, like, and then if more thinner, always like, maybe too much would be pressure. Maybe I can break wrong.
Yep.
Well, mine's got to be the trowel hitting the ground and scraping.
Scraping it?
Oh, yeah. That's like, yeah. I don't even need a radio.
Yep. I'm going to have to say the same thing.
Same thing?
Spreading that mortar.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's when you know things are about to go.
Yeah.
Favorite beverage?
Actually, I like a gin and juice.
What kind of juice?
Like Dylan's, they make a nice mix. It's like gin with fruit and that in it, but it's not sweet like you'd have, but it's just nice balance. Yeah.
Well, the gin's nice then. Okay.
Yeah.
Gin tonic and lemon.
Yeah, you go.
Gin tonic and lemon?
Yeah. Once a year.
Tequila soda
Once
water.
a year?
Yeah, when I'm going to vacation with my wife.
Tequila soda water with lime.
Why not just take it out straight?
Because you got to stay hydrated.
Oh, I've got too many to list, man.
I know.
Oh, I'm like,
There's no limit on how many to list.
Oh, I like a good Crown Royal, but it's got to be the salted caramel at Christmas time. Straight out of the bottle.
Right
That's
on the
nice.
rocks.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Not even
nice.
ice, it is the whole bottle.
What turns you on and what turns you off in construction?
What turns me on is color. People who are not afraid of color in their showers. People are not afraid of color in their kitchens.
Oh, you don't like statutory white or dolomite or
Calcutta.
What I hate worse than what was it? The second one?
Turns you off.
What turns me off? Poor workmanship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Poor service. That one is the worst.
Yeah.
And the best. When client is coming and telling to you, oh, you did a great job. It's like make you feel strong and good.
Yeah.
Pull the mic a little closer to you. I don't want to miss you. Yeah, go ahead.
What turns me on?
Turns you on and off.
When you see a nice big open space that needs to get tile floors. And then what turns me off is a dirty job site.
Makes sense.
I'd have to agree with you, Dan. It's the vision of with color, being able to play with design and create something that gets the customer excited, even from the design concept.
Yeah.
When they're in the shop and you're pulling ideas out, and you're be able to read them and figure out what they want, and you see their eyes lighten up.
Yeah.
That's the best. The turn off, I'm going to say, I agree with you guys. The dirty job sites.
We're such a dirty trade, so when we're clean, it just looks so good.
You can tell a lot on how
Yeah.
they keep their trousers clean, how they keep their pants clean, how they keep everything clean.
Yeah.
The site, everything. Favorite curse word?
I try not to swear, but if I do, it's usually because something went sideways really bad.
But it's a go-to F kind of thing?
Yeah.
You don't have to swear. I'm not forcing anybody to swear, so.
F sakes.
Yeah.
It'd probably be that word or cocksucker.
Favorite vehicle? Any mode of transportation?
I like the older Italian sports cars.
How far back you talking about?
We're going like just nice
like the-
cars. I thought we were going for work.
No. Any mode of transportation. I've
Like
had guys
the-
say space shuttle, right? So
Like
anything.
Di Tomas and Panteras and
Oh,
some of those nicer
now
older
you're
ones.
going there, yeah.
The nice lines.
Yeah,
in them,
yeah.
They don't make it like that anymore.
nope, and they never will.
Always I'm thinking to own good, like almost new pickup for work, because always when I'm going to turn engine, if you have older car, always you have too much stress, right?
Yeah.
That's why always, yeah, like even you can start from home is better during the winter. Yeah, good pickup.
A
for
good
work.
pickup.
Yeah.
I'm definitely like, I love sports cars, but a nice 3500 dually with some Duramax for sure.
Dualies I used to like until you realize you got to buy 6 tires.
Yeah, but they're like, you can go just as fast as a Porsche in those things if you want,
6 tires.
and alignments every 25K.
Yeah.
I still love my Dodge 318 5.2 liter with dual straight pipes out the back.
Nice.
What profession other than your own would you guys like to attempt one day?
Retire.
That's a good profession.
It's the best thing.
That's a good profession. Great profession.
Yeah.
You got to go to school for that?
No.
Yeah, retire.
Retire.
In my
I'm
age,
too young to think about that still. I don't
You
know.
never
Man.
know.
I'm 32. I still got about 25 years if I'm lucky. I don't know. It's a tough one. I've been doing this.
Nothing
for so
else that
long.
interests you?
I'd probably want to get into like the finesse and the finish carpentry stuff, like like furniture and like that kind of stuff. I'd like to learn that stuff.
Yeah, that took a little while.
Yeah, but it like like working with more detailed wood.
This is totally going to blow your mind. Travel blogger. Just travel different places. and
That's a
write
good
That
job.
comes with retirement.
Yeah,
You just want to. You
Well,
want
at least I
to be.
get
You want to
paid
be that
for it.
influencer.
Yeah,
You want to be
true,
that influencer, right?
I'd love to.
I don't pay for the bill here, and I don't pay for room service or the mini bar or anything.
if you want a good review,
What profession would you guys not like to do?
Like a school teacher or a police officer.
Proctologist.
Yeah.
anything in the
What do you don't want to do? What job you don't like, Chris?
to be a lawyer,
Yeah.
because always you have to lie
Yeah.
to protect your.
Yeah. I know.
I'd say anything in the medical field. I gotta give them all the credit they deserve.
Yeah.
I couldn't.
Proctologist. Last question. If heaven exists, would you guys like to hear God say when you arrive at those pearly gates?
Good to see you here.
You did good.
Yeah. So this, what the like I said. Yeah.
There's a lineup up there, I guess.
Yeah, I'm going to be at the back.
He's in the back of the
probably,
line.
Gentlemen, thank you very much for being on the
Thanks,
show,
Manny.
taking the
Hey,
time on
thank you.
Saturday, sharing your skills, and hopefully we've inspired some people to get into the trade and learn a few tricks and tips and stuff like that. And if anybody wants to get a hold of you guys, they can reach out to you.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it. I want to thank Laticrete. Laticrete?
Yes.
Laticrete. I know that sometimes people call it Laticrete, but it's Laticrete. And Kevin, thank you so much for organizing this and putting it together and meeting you guys. It's good to see you again, Dan, for the first time.
Yes, sir.
And I'm sure that I'll be in touch with all you guys eventually at some point. Maybe even stop by your job sites. I like going on the job sites, knowing that I don't have to do any of the work.
Make sure you bring coffee.
That's what I mean. I will. I'll bring a machine. I'll totally bring a machine. But thank you very much, guys. I really appreciate it. It's been a blast to have you guys on the show.
Thank you for having
Thank
us.
you,
That's
man.
for sure.
That's it. We're out of here.